That's true.
But it's also the first baby, which means that this will take like 20 hours. It won't be a...
No. Nope.
Is that how that works?
Maybe.
Because Brian has a vagina. And he
I
knows
figure
his
by
thing.
the third one, they just walk out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They do a somersault.
My friend just had their...
It's Willy Wonka. They have a cane. They pretend to limp out, and then they do a somersault, and they're all fine. Welcome to my factory, the vagina says.
She was like, I'm feeling funny. I'm going to the doctor. And the doctor's like, you're in like mid-labor here. And then while she's being inspected, water breaks.
Ew.
They walk her down the hall, and then she gives birth.
Because it's not like TV. The
3
water,
hours.
it doesn't just come rushing out between their legs. It's
like a thing.
It can, but not always. Not always.
It's not like a really good porn.
It has begun.
Hello, and welcome to the CTB show. Today is June 17th, 2018. The weather is muggy and hot. The Dow.
25,090.
Not bad. Welcome to the show. My name is Evan the Mayor. That is Brian the Levy.
Hello.
That is Casey the Kasem.
Howdy.
And welcome back to the show at Baltimore Lauren. Give us your social media details.
You can find me on Twitter at Baltimore Lauren.
E.
You can find me on Instagram at Lauren from Baltimore.
Ooh.
You can find me on Facebook at Baltimore Lauren Photography.
Would you like to plug any of the websites that you are currently featured on?
Sure, you can find me on Bleeding Cool. I go by the name Veronica Webb on there.
Oh.
Yep. You can find me on MarylandKoreanWay.com as well as VisitHowardCounty.com.
Maryland Korean Way, right. So off mic, prior to the show, you were telling me about how part of your gig for that was literally eating Korean food and getting paid to do so.
Yep.
That sounds great.
Sounds like a dream job, actually.
Literally,
sort of.
I got hired to do their social media. Next thing I know, I'm eating Korean food.
A whole lot of bao, right? Is that Korean?
Bao?
Yeah.
No.
BAO isn't
Steam buns?
that Korean?
Banh mi? No, that's Thai?
I don't fucking
Vietnamese?
know.
I don't have steamed buns in Korea.
Okay.
It's all just kreplach to me.
It's all
Dumplings?
kimchi.
All right, on this well, first of all, I want to give ourselves a very hearty pat on the back of the head for the amount of feedback we got from last week's episode featuring one Allison Provicelli.
Yeah, everyone was really nice.
Very nice. Thank you very much to her for being an excellent guest. That was a great episode. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, this week...
Because they're always great. That one was just great.
No. I was getting feedback from somebody who basically said, no, you guys have really been on a roll. You know, you found a groove.
Aw.
It was so
The
good
Emperor's
that
New Groove.
you and I didn't have to do anything.
It was so good that I was dead to the world.
Yeah.
And it still wound up being pretty good.
Well, thanks. I mean,
Peek behind the curtain, first episode I've ever thrown up on.
yes, just luckily off mic and upstairs.
Yeah, I ran up the stairs and puked. That's not going to happen ever again.
Well, you know.
No, because of the time. Shh, Caitlin.
What's not the...
Because the timing was as such as I was...
Until next year.
No. Shut up.
Because you do come back from alumni weekend
exactly
like that every year.
Is it true?
For the most
and
part.
You're only getting older. It's not like you're getting any younger.
Oh, man.
So.
Thanks, Spectre of
Time
Death.
after time.
All right, on this episode, we will be talking about Baltimore Pride, Baltimore Hood Tours, TT the Artist, and some other stuff. And in the second half of the show, a very long and lengthy discussion of this recent news about Chris Hardwick essentially falling on the sword or so.
No, I don't know if that's
not
the right...
It's not the right term. I'm sorry. Losing his job. I don't know. Whatever. A lot of impropriety.
He got
and,
shit canned.
Yes, he got shit canned. Thank you very much. And the ongoing discussion of Me Too in the nerdery world and the fandom zone.
Yeah.
The Phantom Zone.
Ooh. It's a different thing.
Yeah. Do you suppose there's problems with hashtag Me Too in the Phantom Zone?
Well, I mean,
A lot of convicts in the Phantom
it's. I was gonna say it is a nebulous dimension with the worst criminals that Krypton has to offer. So I can't assume it's a kind place for women. The only girl is that the lady in leather from Superman 2. I can't. Ursa.
Ursa
is her name.
And Zod, and then what was the big dude's name?
Non. N-O-N.
Delicious bread. Oh. All right, top of the show plugs. Guys, I went ahead and I made a shortened URL for the Amazon influenza page.
Oh.
Yes, it is bit.ly/City That Breeds. bit.ly/City That Breeds. So if you're wondering the most direct route to support us and this show, use that URL. That's bit.ly/City That Breeds.
Well, that seems really easy.
It's so easy. Anyone can do it.
Sure.
Anyone can do it.
I think so.
So why aren't you?
Exactly. Thank you, Casey.
Call to action.
I should also note, and I'm going to start doing this, I don't know when, in the CTB Fam Zone. But I'm going to start plugging, weekly promo codes via Amazon and that sort of a newsletter, if you will, of, hey, here's some deals. Speaking of deals, Target featuring great deals. This week, buy one, get one, 50% off women's swimsuits.
Target, you say?
Target, I say. 25% off home style essentials.
For your pools and your barbecues.
For pools and barbecues, dads and grads.
I think it would behoove me to say Caitlin and I are registered at Target.
So, for your wedding.
If you're scrolling through, just see what we got.
Okay. All right. Fine. Brian and Caitlin on Target.com.
We registered for a Switch. Not expecting it, but if a group of FAMS owners wants to get together.
You can, on Target registries, you can, chip in for certain high-dollar items.
Wow.
Right.
Yes, I found that out with the baby registry.
Wow.
So if you want a slightly less direct route to support the show, go to cityofthepriest.com/deals and click through any of the banners on there. I'm pleased to announce that our affiliate deal with Warby Parker continues to go very strong. They're going to pay us a bunch of money very shortly.
Nice.
And by that I mean about $100. But
that's
still.
okay.
One last Target plug. Hold on one second. Ooh. Target is offering a free $5 gift card when you spend $20 or more on beauty items. That's a deal.
Yo, get your mascara, your cold cream.
$20 on beauty items. You just 3 things, and that's it. You get $5.
Easy. It's like paying you to spend money.
For reals. For reals.
Making money, spending money.
Mm-hmm. I make it, not spend it. Bitches.
I assume that gift card's only good at Target?
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, today is Father's Day. Anybody got any anecdotes?
I had brunch with my sisters. That was fun. Then we went to Caitlin's parents. I had a steak, had a baked potato, and something else.
You're having a very hearty Father's Day.
It's been a gastronomic smorgasbord.
Oh, shit. I'm going to play that one for you.
Thank you.
Casey, you're about to be a father.
I am.
5 days.
No, not quite. It's July 7th. So we still got... But at this point, it's full term. Anything can happen. So we'll see.
Yeah, we're going to have to put you on paternity leave for a few weeks, and you'll man the ship with the Would You Rathers and shout out...
You know what Casey can do? Is he can call our new voicemail number.
That's right.
And 3 in the morning and be like, I hate my life.
Honestly, if you would, that'd be great. And just let us know what's going on.
I'm just going to wait till my baby is crying and then just leave a voicemail for 40
minutes. It's just crying
straight.
baby. Crying baby voicemail, title of the episode.
That's what baby voicemail. That's what I'm hoping for. Are you excited? Let me ask you something. Did you get anything for Father's Day?
First of all, if you would like to leave us a voicemail, that number is 443-457-0154. Leave us a message today. Ding. Go ahead.
I got a Mr. Incredibles mug.
For Father's Day?
For Father's Day.
Christ, it's your first one and it already sucks. That is amazing.
It's actually one I wanted, so I was
okay.
happy.
Well, maybe you suck. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. But so the other day, my AC just decided, hey, I'm going to freeze up or just start leaking for no reason.
Leaking what?
Water, because condensation.
Yeah.
A big ice chunk form on the pipes?
I didn't see any ice, but it was definitely leaking condensation, and it was enough to go through the attic and into the master bedroom and just tear up a bunch of drywall.
Home ownership.
And I don't have a working air conditioner. Right
does
now.
that
So that's
kinda-
great?
Is that why you're so sweaty?
No.
Does it worry you that you're bringing your child home to like a mold-infested hot house?
Do you want to kill your child even like right off the bat? With
That's
your
exactly what I
negligence?
did. That's what this week I said. You know what I want to do with a new child on the way? I'm going to break my air conditioner.
Yeah.
Why leave it in a car when I could just leave it at the house?
This is this horror movie plotline where Casey is possessed by some sort of demon, and he's like waking up to find himself smashing the crib with a hammer and just like deliberately trying to sabotage his brand new baby's life. And then Harrison Ford shows up as the exorcist.
Harrison Ford?
I don't know why.
He was the murderer in What Lies Beneath.
He sure was. That was a weird role for him.
Good movie.
Yeah, it's not bad for a slow burn of a horror film.
Are you Casey? I mean, I know we were going to talk about Father's Day. Are your anxieties building? I mean, you're an anxious person to begin with.
Yeah, it depends on the day because, like, I'm pretty excited, but then there's certain days where I'm like, what the fuck am I getting into? Just because, like, I feel like we've been unpacking for 6 months, so that is
because honestly, what the fuck am I getting into is a question I would have asked about 8.5 months ago. You know, whenever I first got that news, because boy, I'm excited for you. I love it when my friends have kids.
I am excited. I am not really too worried about the baby and the little human part. It's more of like there's so much other shit that needs to be done,
Money.
and I want everything to be done for this child, and I'm like, I'm already letting it down.
Can you throw a ball?
Yeah. Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Can you throw a spiral?
No, that cannot.
Oh,
be done.
you should probably learn how to do
So
that.
let's hope he doesn't get into football and baseball's okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's still your kid. I think you're all right on the football aspect. I think he's probably not going to be
Ryan.
He's not going to be exactly gifted athletically.
well.
Oh,
You got to get them in that sports, Casey.
Yeah.
It's important.
it's important.
So yeah, but
So that they don't wind up like us.
so Casey, are you going to count this as your first Father's Day or?
I guess.
I will. That baby can like come out anytime. It's Father's Day for Casey.
Lauren, Father's Day, anything?
My dad got me into comic books and pinball, so I guess I should thank him.
There you go.
Yeah, sure.
I hear you have a mean pinball collection.
I do, actually.
Pretty sweet.
You guys should come over and play.
I wouldn't mind doing
Yeah,
that.
we've been invited to all these different places.
It's true. We got invited to Allison's Fire Pit and now a pinball party.
Wow, we could just make a weekend of it.
Wow.
Wow, be great. Wait, let me ask you something. How do you feel about Father's Day?
I forget it exists.
Right.
I mean, Father's Day is like a third-tier holiday.
To begin
because
with.
first of all, it gets lumped in with graduating. It's like dads and grads. Oh, dads, the 50% part of being alive gets lumped in with children graduating high school.
Well, that's what I'm going to be really sad about is when my dad dies, not only will he be dead, I've never graduated from college or anything, and my mom's dead. It'll be just a
Why
total...
don't you just give him that gift already and graduate college?
you know what? It's going to be really nice on his deathbed when I come to him and go, Papa, I just want you to know before you go, I did it.
I got my degree in history and women's studies.
Underwater basket weaving master's degree.
What were some of those other like? You know-
Whatever the gym teacher, Levy, you gonna major in underwater basket weaving, Levy?
Yeah, the gym teacher when he's like, "You're worthless," and abusing you emotionally.
Right. Macrame those shorts.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I did. Thank you.
Underwater basket weaving sounds difficult because you got to hold your breath
Yeah, well, that's why you go to college.
Don't think it's a thing.
to learn how to hold your breath.
You don't even get into a pool until your third year.
That's true.
Don't you just wear scuba gear and then...
Casey.
Only amateurs, Casey. Amateurs wear scuba gear for underwater basket weaving.
I wonder if David Blaine is good. Is it David Blaine who
David
does
Blaine,
the...
yeah.
Yeah. Here's an anecdote.
Uh-oh.
So one of my
Whoa!
cousins,
What a hashtag me too. What's going on with David Blaine?
he's
There's
married
gotta
to
be
Fiona
some-
Apple.
Is he?
Yeah, for
Oh,
years.
I thought they just went out.
No, I think they're married.
Okay, all right.
So at,
Misfire.
At Father's Day, one of my cousin's kids was at brunch, and he was doing like card tricks, and each card trick was taking 15 minutes, and I just wanted to like be like, bro, David Blaine does this shit in like 45 seconds. I was like, I don't want to tell you your job, but you are taking too long.
I don't mean
said
to
nothing.
David Blaine you.
but Caitlin says they were good. So
Quit taking the blame on this issue.
nice. So yeah, Father's Day, it's fine.
Also, this weekend is Baltimore Pride weekend.
I did not go. You went. I was
did.
disappointed because normally it would be kind of like in the neighborhood of the store, and instead it shifted
moved
much
it way
further
north,
north.
yeah. The tail, so the entryways all began north of North Avenue,
Right.
And the parade route stretched all the way to like 33rd Street, and it ended at 24th and 23rd Street.
So it's almost like Charles
it had
Village.
two endings. It was a very frustrating experience because we were all sitting around on the 2300 block, like waiting for Liz Rahr to come down and for us to cheer her on. But it wound up that was the vehicle exit area. And then 24th was where the pedestrian exit area was. And so we basically like got to see nothing at all, basically.
I've learned that unless it is the last Thursday in November and it's my house, I don't really dig on parades. Like, they're boring.
This one had 2 drum lines, and I love a good drum line.
I do like a good drum line.
This Pride Parade had was very low on floats.
What's the best drum line you've ever seen?
I don't know.
I would
the
say
movie drum lines
the movie
starring
drum
Nick
line.
Cannon?
Sorry to cat it.
Yeah, there's like one float, a couple of elected officials running for re-election, and a fuckload of corporate sponsors like Giant Food. McCormick was throwing around packets of Old Spice.
Old
Bay.
Bay. Really surprised to see the Chick-fil-A convertible.
Was there a Chick-fil-A?
No, of course not.
No, it was like Giant Food, McCormick, Under Armour.
There was a
Amazon fulfillment. Not even like Amazon by itself, just Amazon fulfillment. The people that deliver your packages and usually wind up getting them damaged or stolen. But, you know.
But isn't that crazy? Like, think back like 10 years. Would you imagine that a Pride Parade would have so many corporate sponsors?
Are they corporate sponsors, or is it just like Gary from shipping? It's like,
well,
hey, y'all.
Oh, and
like,
BGE was there, and they had like a utility truck that was adorned with rainbows. And I'm like, this is weird because it used to be about celebrating the people and their freedom and culture, and you know.
Now all of a sudden it's like, look how awesome Amazon is to its gays.
Yeah, we put a fucking rainbow flag on our logo, and you know, we're
do your grocery shopping on Amazon.
Yeah. We own Whole Foods. I did get handed a couple of condoms, and then
How'd they taste?
Oh, they were fruity, tutti fruity.
Were they flavored?
No,
Oh,
I just a standard Trojan. It'll sit in my wallet for the rest of my life. Because I am now an incel.
Because you were a 13-year-old boy.
Yes. Anyway, we went to the Eagle Bar, which is the center of the universe when it comes to all things leather daddy in Baltimore. Went through the store, saw a bunch of harnesses and things for sale, anal trainer kits.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Procedurally increasing in size butt
No,
plugs.
I got it. I got it.
I've always wanted to go there. Nobody will go with me.
Yeah. I would say that
Pick the right weekend, and Evan will go.
I've been a couple of times for like drag shows and stuff. It was packed. It was way too crowded.
I have a question. I want to know if you learned something this year. What's a zaddy? A ZADDY?
It's a genderless daddy. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
I have no idea.
Oh, I should probably Urban Dictionary it. I'll find out later.
If I had known to ask, I was with a couple of former drag queens, one of which had his photo on the wall of the bar. He did not know that it was there. So he was doing a lot of posing with the photo.
Fams owners,
Yeah.
let me know what a zaddy is.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you.
CTB Fan Zone Extreme, join us today. Why would you?
It's fun. We've got a couple new
members. You know why that happened?
Why?
Because a member of the Fam Zone posted content from the Fam Zone into a non-Fam Zone group, and then other people were like, "What's up with this Fam Zone?"
Oh, great!
And then they joined, and they will probably leave very shortly.
Oh,
because they are not interested in podcasts or
our inside jokes.
Blog material.
Well,
we'll see.
Speaking of the Fam Zone, should we
speak of it?
Should we recount this week's?
Would you rather?
Yeah.
Sure. Why not? Casey, since you did it, I will give you the musical introduction, and then we will go over the results. This is now Would You Rather? Fam Zone edition. Blah. I'm good at talking.
I need like 30 seconds.
That's fine.
Oh, I'm right here. Oh, in case anybody's curious, a zaddy is a slang term for a really handsome guy who is very appealing and looks really fashionable. He has to have swag and sex appeal and look sexy and attractive. Damn, Reggie Bush is a zaddy.
Okay.
So it's not a
That's
guy
Urban
who
Dictionary, I assume?
wears
Yeah.
zoot suits?
No, that's a Mexican.
That's a Mexican?
Oh yeah, zoot suits in the 1930s were very popular amongst
With Mexicans. Okay.
Do you know about the zoot suit riot?
Pour back a bottle of beer.
But it's an actual thing,
Oh.
right? It was an actual riot in Los Angeles.
Look it up.
All right,
Yes.
we are ready.
Casey.
This week on Would You Rather be able to use social media but never be able to watch TV or movies again? Just assume that includes all streaming options, etc. Or would you like to be able to watch TV and movies but never be able to use any social media platform?
I think the Fam Zone really covered this one.
It was unanimous. I will be completely honest. I ripped these off somewhere on the internet.
Nothing's original anymore.
And I had Brian specifically in mind for this.
So you thought that I would want to be able to be on Facebook?
I thought you would be torn. I thought it would be at least a close call
But
because
Brian's
you do
blood,
love
other
the
than
Instagram.
being made of Coca-Cola is TV and
right.
movies.
I bleed vacuum tubes, Casey.
Yeah.
But he also loves to tell people, like, he likes Instagram.
I like Instagram. I was very proud of my picture this week and of the blue tampon, to which I said the beginning of my blue period, because that's an amazingly cultured period joke. Picasso, motherfuckers. So, anyway, I like to do that. But if you go look at my Facebook, I am not active. Like, I do not tell people where I am. I'm not, like, putting all my thoughts out there. I go, like, weeks between. Now, I really like commenting on people's on other people's threads. That I do.
Unsolicited.
No, right. I just like show up. Sometimes when I'm on Facebook, I have to, like, weigh, like, when's the last time I actually saw or talked to this person? Like, can I, would it be weird if all of a sudden, like, the fuck is Brian Levy doing here?
Right.
Like, I hate that. But, like, yes, I absolutely... television. You're telling me I could never watch Star Trek again? Okay.
Star Trek.
Right.
Some of my favorite comments include
Uh-huh.
number 2, which is TV and movies.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt, I was raised by the TV. It's my only real friend.
Yeah.
Who was the person that...
Robert, I have really bad...
Bob
last name.
Kurtica. Bob Kadurka.
Guess what, guys? We did get a voicemail from this man.
Ooh.
Oh.
Which I'm going to play right now.
Hey, CTB. Fam Zone Extreme member Robert Kadurka here. Just to let you guys know, last name is pronounced Kadurka. Thanks.
We need to isolate the last name is pronounced Kadurka, and every time he's mentioned, that's what he gets.
Kadurka.
No, it's exactly right. It's how it's spelled, Kadurka.
I think there was a continuation that we talked over, though. Hold on one second.
Hey, CTB. Fam Zone Extreme member Robert Kadurka here. Just to let you guys know, last name is pronounced Kadurka. Thanks.
Thank you.
When I got the text transcript, it was said something about it being French, and obviously that was not actually in there.
One of the podcasts I listen to called Teen Creeps, and it's very good, very funny. They read old Fear Street books and then rag on them. They whenever they get a voicemail, the transcript is Dean Crepes. So they say, "Hi, Dean Crepes."
Dean Crepes.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Anyway, getting back to this, would you rather?
There's a lot of the CTB Fam Zone can shove it.
Honestly,
I need my television.
Right. I need TV.
Well, that was basically my line of thinking was, hey, we all lived without it before it existed,
right.
And I think we were much happier, actually.
Here's a question. Does pornography count as television? Like, could I have social...
Yes, because that includes streaming.
So I could have social media but no porn? Well, yeah, right. Okay. Goodbye. Goodbye, Facebook. Goodbye, Instagram.
No, I mean,
Goodbye,
I remember
Twitter.
back, and then friend of the show Tronster weighed in and said, stuff about bulletin board services and ICQ and all this other stuff, and yeah,
Does that count as social media though?
I feel like it does.
I don't think it does.
I
think,
do.
Does it?
It may not be the modern social medias, but it's social media.
What about forums?
I don't know.
That's social media.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like message boards?
Just any online discussion is social media?
Like when I used to hang out at
What is social
comicboards.org.
media? Huh?
Or like when I used to hang out at comicboards.org or whatever.
Whatever.
And like,
I mean, online discussion, is that social media? I don't know.
I think forums count as social media because that's all that Facebook is a sophisticated
so
forum.
Is a blog social media?
No, I don't
Caitlin
think so.
says yes. I don't think so because the essence of a blog is I am posting
But besides,
an article.
if I can't have the TV on while I'm scrolling through Facebook, what's the fucking point? Like, no, yeah, I hate it. Number 2.
What do you think, Lauren? No social
Yeah, just
media?
get rid of it.
Get rid of it?
I was a lot happier.
Well, and that's
Is
the
a
thing.
telephone social media?
Technically, no.
Well,
I'll fight people for that.
no, because media would be a medium, and is the telephone a medium?
It's a what do you call it?
It's hardware.
Yes, it is a
Device. It's a social device, not a social medium. I would say television is social medium. Is a social medium, but a television
is not social media.
is a device.
What is social media? Wait, somebody, you all have computers in your hands. Look it up. Look up the Webster the definition.
I don't think. I think it's exactly.
You don't want to look it up?
No, I think it's exactly what we think it is.
It's bullshit.
It is bullshit. That is for sure. And you get one of these little bad boys.
But I will say, without social media, I got social media are computer-mediated technologies that facilitate the creation and sharing of information, ideas, career interests. LinkedIn. No one uses LinkedIn. And other forms of expression via virtual communities and networks. I'd have to say
What is social media surgery?
I'd have to say that message boards and BBS and shit would count as social mediums.
A social media surgery is a gathering at which volunteer surgeons with expertise in using web tools, chiefly social media, offer free advice in using such tools to representatives of nonprofit organizations, charities, community groups, and activists with no boring speeches or jargon. Who wrote this crap?
I don't know. I would say this sounds terrible, but of course the healthcare situation is terrible, and maybe poor people, that's all they can get.
Okay. So what if instead of so by definition it has to be computer based? What if it was just like the old school party line? Was the telephone based party line?
That's a social. So that's a social media. I don't know. Like
I think it's like pornography.
Hi,
you know
I'm
it when you
Angela.
see it.
Right.
Any hot guys on the line tonight?
I was watching something in the middle of the night. Like I fed for some reason stayed up till like 3 a.m. and it was MTV Classic. I was watching like old music videos in the middle of the night, and they still advertise party lines like 1-900 numbers.
Oh yeah, no. When I stay up to watch Outer Limits, there's like Live Link or whatever the fuck it's called. Live Links.
Me and my girlfriends are just waiting for you.
Yeah. I was tired of using dating apps because it's just so much better to be connected with people one-on-one. I'm like, hell no, I don't want to talk to weird. Who the hell is gonna call that shit? If you're so desperate that you need to call a 1-800 number to like talk to, no, you know what?
Well,
I'm walking back on this.
I'm
walking back on this.
I think they're for jerking off.
Are they?
I think the people you're
They're not
talking
actually for dating.
No, I think the people you're talking to are trying to help you jerk off.
It's a sex line.
I think so.
Oh, but it's free.
Farmers. I'm almost positive farmers
only.
It's a hardcore sex line.
Yeah, well, that's ass farmers only.
So with the dating apps, I never did any of the paid stuff. I tried JDate.
Oh yeah.
What's the point? I already know all those Jews.
You're right.
I went to high school with everyone on.
Right.
But I met Nick on Tinder, which is traditionally a hookup site, and we actually just celebrated our 1-year anniversary.
So that's a great question.
Mazel tov.
Could you turn on and off your social media only? Like, if you need a date, can you be like, I'm not watching TV, like, scroll through Tinder for 20 minutes and then turn it back on?
You make a choice and then you live with it.
Oh, no.
I met my first boyfriend like back in 2003 off of a website called makeoutclub.com.
Oh, I think I remember that one.
Yeah, and we dated for 10 years.
There was like adult friend finder. There's like casual kiss.
Well, I said this year I got a birthday email from Plenty of Fish. I was like, oh yeah, I guess 10 years ago
I still
did
have
that.
an account, and I'm like, I haven't used it in years, but
it was very weird. So yeah, but the answer is television.
Yeah,
but without social media, do you know what we would never know about?
Everyone's opinion about everything.
Well, besides that, I would say tours through the hood of Baltimore.
Ah, very good.
Jeez.
Excellent segue. I'll give you a point for that one.
Thanks.
Member of the I know I saw something about this a while ago.
I saw it like a week ago.
Maybe in the Baltimore City Voters Group or something like that, but Johnny the Mailman, member of the Fam Zone, posted the Craigslist ad for Baltimore Hood Tours, starting at $29.99.
This is not real, right? Like, this is not real. It can't be.
I don't know, because there is no way. I guess you can.
I think we should sign up for one as a group.
Somebody said that there's an actual Groupon available for this.
No.
I don't buy it. I don't know. I'm not going to buy it.
I don't know. I feel like that is awful.
I think
That
You
is
know what?
literally awful.
Baltimore Hood Tours, I can do them for free. I can get in my goddamn car and drive to Sandtown and see the things. I've seen these places. They're
I used to have people contact me and be like, "Can you drive me around and show me the places from The Wire?"
Here's
That's
how
exactly what this is.
So I'm going to read the ad. I'll tell you now. Here's how you know it's not real. There's no contact info. Anyway.
I was going to say, I already...
there's a reply box.
There is a reply box, but... Yeah, there's no, like, website or anything.
So let me read this. We are now offering a brand new tourist attraction, Tours Through the Hoods of Baltimore. Every time I travel and people hear where I am from, they always ask the same thing. Wow, is that anything like The Wire? It's true. Now you can find out for yourself. We will take you through the areas where riots took place, shootings, sketchy drug deals, prostitution, etc. There will be shooting simulations.
Wait, pause.
Go.
Shooting simulations?
I have questions.
Yeah, me too.
Where you could get some guys to, like, come out of the alleyway with blanks in their guns and, like, shoot at the van that you're driving in?
It's what it is. You remember in Police Academy where they had to go to the shooting range? And it was like the house, but then they had like cardboard cut-ups.
Yeah.
So it's that. There will be shooting simulations, but riding throughout Baltimore, you may just end up seeing the real thing. Exciting, right? It is advised that you leave anything of value at your hotel, motel, resort, friend's house, wherever you're staying. We don't judge.
We don't judge?
Throughout this tour, you may hear loud out in almost every hood we visit, especially in front of a carryout or gas station. These young people are simply trying to sell you Reggie, regular weed, probably trash, as exotic weed.
This is such a confusing line.
At the end of the tour, we will stop to get an authentic chicken box. You must eat it as we do. Salt, pepper, ketchup, and hot sauce on the chicken.
No, I disagree.
That's just
no
wrong.
mention of ranch. This is bullshit.
And you have to try a half and half. Sign up now. Seats are going fast. It's very racist.
Holy
there
shit.
will be a waiver that must be signed prior to the tours, as we are not responsible for any assault, robbery, shooting, arson, or
waiver.
any other crime that could possibly take place
So-
during the tour.
I want to know, did somebody not from Baltimore write this? Because I feel like...
The
mean,
knowledge of the chicken box alone makes me
Sure,
say that they
yeah.
probably are from Baltimore, but the
I don't
fact that they don't mention ranch with the chicken box is like, well, they're probably not actually...
It makes me mad.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
The mention of half and half is legit, but that's like still... lots of places have half and half.
Yeah, I mean, they just call it an
And
Arnold
if you're
Palmer.
really dumb and not from Baltimore, don't know what half and half is, it's not thing you put in your coffee.
It's an Arnold Palmer.
It's half lemonade, half tea.
So does anybody in this room actually have the balls to like contact these people?
I'll send them an email tomorrow.
But you can't. There's no...
There's a
you
reply-
click on the reply.
there's a
in
reply
Craigslist
box.
ad.
Oh, there is a reply box. All right, Brian, I'm leaving that up to you.
Yeah, I'll email them tomorrow.
I could make
But
you an,
I
I could make you an
guarantee-
@citythatbreeds.com email address if you'd like.
No, Brian J. Levy at Gmail is fine.
I feel like this kind of not necessarily blew
Send me
up,
nudes.
but I saw this from posted by a couple different people. So I feel like if it's fake, you're not going to get a response because I'm sure that they've
No,
got
that's
a
true.
bunch of people
Or I'm just like,
hitting them up.
hey, man, here's who I am. Just curious. Like, is this a
Why?
gag? Like, just tell me that there's a joke. Like when Thomas Swift wrote
How about eating old people?
a modest proposal, eating babies.
Babies.
Everybody knew he was joking. That's what made it satire.
Yeah.
Like-
Why is it starting at $29.99?
Yeah, are there VIP tours?
Well, does the price include the chicken box and the half and half?
Yeah,
And how are they getting you around?
right.
Presumably in a van. I don't know.
The margins just seem wrong. That's all.
It doesn't. It seems almost haphazardly put together in a fake manner.
Yeah, right. Also, I read it, and that's not how professionals put out like press releases and
No.
stuff. Exciting, right? No, bro, you don't write that.
Sounds great.
So-
Having said that, let's make our own Baltimore Hood Tour.
I don't know where you
We'll
would
do
go.
it right. You don't?
Okay,
It's called all of West Baltimore.
that's true.
Or East Baltimore, some parts.
Yeah, it just depends. Like, what flavor of hood do you want?
So when I was
Welcome to Club Buns, the gay hood. Like, you know.
when I was utilizing my drive-through West Baltimore route to avoid downtown traffic days when I was commuting from North Baltimore down to here in South Baltimore where I live, you go through some of those areas and you're like, it's pretty bad.
I dated a guy who lived like at the very end of North Avenue.
Ooh, wait, which end?
East or west? Where the cemetery is.
Where Greenmount is, yeah.
Yeah, Greenmount.
Oh, yeah, Greenmount, not great. Not a great area.
And like, at the time I was driving my dad, this is going to sound really shitty, but I was driving my dad's BMW, and he was
You're driving your Beamer along North Avenue?
and my dad goes, "Can you not?"
Can you please try to avoid North Avenue? Yeah, as soon as you... So the only spot along North Avenue that is kind of like not really, really scary. I mean, it is just kind of a scary stretch of road.
Yeah, take him up to like Green Mountain Vineyard where the book thing is. But see, here's the thing. The book thing would be part of a good Baltimore Hood tour because it's right there in the middle of the fucking hood.
Yeah,
and it's like cool.
There are those places that are sort of
it's on the edge of the hood. Go a little further on Greenmount. That's where that guy got shot waiting at 9 a.m. at the Chinese restaurant. One, the Chinese restaurant was open at 9 a.m. And two, some guy got shot there.
Yeah, I lived there at the time.
All right.
I did see somebody get like stabbed in the throat.
Jesus.
When I was going to that guy's
Right.
house.
I saw a groundhog get hit by a semi-truck on the way to work. It was horrifying.
My mom taught in Baltimore City for 40 years, and her last school was on North Avenue. But it wasn't actually the worst school.
Right, and we're also only talking about areas, right, that are like on major arteries.
Right.
Think about the parts of the cities like Clifton Park and shit.
Well,
No,
she
like Clifton.
Go ahead, sorry.
she taught in like Loch Raven, which is traditionally a nice area, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Loch Raven and Alameda, not so great.
So she walked into her classroom one day and she found a dead body.
Wow.
In the classroom?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Was it like a hobo or was it
No,
a student?
some kid. She taught pre-K special ed,
Oh.
and it wasn't any of her students. It was just like a teenager. I don't know. I might actually be getting the story wrong, but like there was a body in the building.
Crazy.
And I was sick home one day, and she came back early, and like my dad was going to stay home with me, and she walks in, and we go, "So why are you here?" And she goes, "I found a body in the school, so I
He
took
just
the
wants to see a
day
dead
off."
body?
But she said at that specific school she was at, a guy ran through it naked one day.
Senior prank or
No,
like,
it was
no,
an
not a
elementary
student.
school,
Not a
and this
student,
was a
right.
grown-ass adult
Oh.
running through the school naked. She came outside to see people siphoning gasoline.
That's
out of the
amazing.
car.
I mean, that's the other thing about Baltimore is that the hood really can be just 2 blocks away from where you are at any given point.
I mean, I grew up on Park Heights.
right, exactly.
You know.
Yeah, Park Heights. Gorgeous architecture, and then all the...
Stunning architecture.
and then all the Whiteys left in the 70s. Well, they did.
Earlier.
Was it earlier?
Yeah.
I thought white flight was always attributed to the 1970s.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
My parents lived in a different time than I did.
There, yeah.
So
we lived on Park Heights till 1989.
Oh, you were a member of Park Heights
what
community.
part of Park Heights?
I wasn't Jewish enough for them. My backyard was Northwestern High School's track. So, I mean, like, I lived like in the middle of an Orthodox neighborhood, and I was not Jewish enough, and I had no friends there.
Were you a member of Shomrim?
No, I was not. I was 6 when we moved away, and I wasn't Jewish enough. Could never be a
Interesting.
Shomer
it's
member.
funny. I grew up in like the Pikesville part of Park Heights, so I wasn't in like the Orthodox area.
Oh yeah,
And
I was city limits.
People look at me funny, but I'm like, I'm telling you, dude. Like, if you're not Jewish enough, you can't be in those
Yeah,
neighborhoods.
absolutely. The kids wouldn't play with me. They would play with my dad. Like he was, old enough, so like he was whatever. But like I was not to be friends with them.
I go to like the bagel shops in the area, and people look at me funny because I have tattoos everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, the guy. Well,
And you're unescorted.
Yeah, and I wear pants.
we could play. Let's tell stories about Jewish Pikesville, but that's real niche.
That's very niche.
Real niche.
Well, you guys should do a guest spot on Jay Moore sometime, and do that.
Jay Moore.
Jay Moore has a well, I'm sorry, it's about eating in Baltimore if you're Jewish, and starring Richard Grelick.
I thought you meant Jay Moore, as
Jay Moore.
in the guy from
Jay Moore, yes, more stories.
Yes.
Fly out to L.A., get on
No,
his
it's
podcast.
like it's a free magazine. Like I see it at my gym.
Yes, I do know that Gorelick does Jay Moore live things
Yeah,
on Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah, they're
Plug.
fun.
Speaking of other podcasts, as it relates to Baltimore Hood Tours, I would be remiss if I did not mention the Roughly Speaking podcast, as produced by Baltimore Sun and starring, what's his name? Dan Rodericks. He had a guy on the show named Curtis Williams who basically talks about how he went to jail as a juvenile for shooting a guy, and just his story is very interesting. And it mostly is about his struggle trying to find work after getting out of prison for murder. So, if you want a little glimpse into the tapestry of difficulties that the people of this city that live in these areas are having, it's a good thing to listen to. Anyway, we are 43 minutes in, and I do believe it is time to take a break. And it is time for the internet sensation.
Give me the tray.
Sweeping 92Q. It's time for shoutouts.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Shoutouts.
Shout out.
SO.
This is the part of the show in which we take a break and give mad props, a.k.a. shoutouts to persons, places, and things that are improving our quality of life and giving us jollies. My shoutout this week is to TT the Artist, who I saw perform at the Pride Festival yesterday, which really turned into just a straight-up African-American block party, which I've never been a part of, and it was the shit.
Every year, Pride, there's a lot of overlap in the Pride community and the Black community.
Yeah.
Because it's really, for a lot of years, Black gays were not as accepted,
right.
And now they have become accepted, and it's a place for them to go be themselves in a safe space. It's a lot of fun.
It was a tremendous amount of fun. Great performance. If you want to see some video of that, go to Instagram.com/citythatbreeds. TT will certainly be the bumper this week. You can be assured of that.
I loved Pride when it used to happen right outside my front door. That was the best weekend of the year. I just walk out in Mount Vernon and bam, lesbians in wings and short shorts, and gay men in wings and short shorts. And it's it's so amazing.
Yeah, it really was a lot of fun, and I felt, I was like, oh, I wish I were special.
Well, you're a creep.
I haven't been in years,
Yeah.
but I want to go because not a shout out, but I'm bi, so
Okay.
I want to see what.
Is that
out
exclusive?
there.
I assume they're okay with that. I read lots of articles where the gay community is reckoning with the bi community, and I think they're getting there.
I hope so, because social media
Right. Doesn't help.
does not help.
No. Who else has had this is a shout out?
Shout out from Fam's owner Gail Willis. Shout out to Casey for posting requests for shout outs and shut ups.
Uh-huh.
You, sir, are awesome.
Yes, Casey, you've been on point lately as being one of the administrative assistants to the CTB Fam Zone.
Yes. And Liz Gall. Shout out to Scrap Beemore. They're like a thrift store for craft supplies. Awesome for artists, teachers, crafters, etc.
So, learn something new.
Yeah, Scrap Beemore is on the 900 block of South Charles Street, 903, I do believe, in my neighborhood.
And yes, I'm trying to make sure there's something all the time.
I have shout outs. Casey, give Amber a shout out. She'll be giving
For
birth
being
soon.
9 months
Shout out
pregnant.
to babies.
So on my continuing nostalgia tour, I bought 2 albums on my phone this week.
Oh, okay.
What were they?
Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party.
Too nostalgic.
Too nostalgic?
No, I mean too old.
Too old. Okay. Ministries, Psalm 69.
You'll never get them. Cracked Rear View by one Hootie and the Blowfish.
No.
Nice.
And Sparkle and Fade by Everclear.
Oh, yeah.
The album
Such
was,
a good album.
It's so good.
It's such a good album.
Those were 2 important CDs.
That is HF Festival all the way.
I don't know if Hootie ever went to an HF festival, but Everclear sure did.
I love
yeah,
Everclear.
I remember. Speaking of HFS, friend of the show, Spam, moved back from Florida. He's back in town.
Oh, yeah? What's he doing?
I don't know. I'm going to reach out to him and see if he wants to come on board and tell us all about his little travels down
Yeah.
in the Miami-Dade County.
I
don't remember where he was.
bet you I know why he's in town.
Because he didn't... Careers in radio are fleeting at best.
Fleeting at best. Well, so remember I was going to make that call? I just never even got a call back. It's so mean.
You made the call?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Never even heard back. So mean.
Yeah, I hate it. I might also be getting a new job soon.
Guys, so what a time of personal change and growth.
In some ways. going backwards.
Hey, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but we'll get there.
Oh, also shout out to myself for not throwing up this episode.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm proud of you.
Caitlin has a shout out.
I have a shout out to you for last night. I appreciate it. I remember you being great. So thanks so much for that.
I have a quick shout out.
I think there
Go
was
for
a slash
There's a
S at the
story
end of it.
behind that.
What?
I'm going to shout out to Visit Howard County
Ah,
because I like to promote myself.
very good. Oh, yeah, when we get back, we'll get some little status updates about the old Ellicott City that you used to work in.
Yeah, my office used to be there.
Yeah. All right, we will be right back after this scintillating track from TT the Artist.
Bandana on, yeah, I'm about to thug it out. If a hater talking shit, go ahead and stomp him out. If you got a problem, we can settle it tonight. Meet me outside. You ain't about that life. Bandana on, yeah, I'm about to thug it out. If a hater talking shit, go ahead and stomp him out. If you got a problem, we can settle it tonight. Meet me outside. You ain't about that life. Pop off at the mouth and it's gonna be good night. All my bitches thuggin' and they ready for a fight. All that shit you talking, you won't say it to my face. Hold my cell phone, grab my purse. I'm about to catch a case with my bandana on. Yeah, I'm about to thug it out. Treat these niggas like my hoes and put my dick all in they mouth. If you got a problem, we can settle it tonight.
All right, we're back from break. We just spent, I don't know, entirely too much time talking about circumcised penises.
Good luck as a father, Casey.
Yeah. All right, so on this half of the show, we will be talking about a slight continuation of the hashtag #MeToo conversation we had briefly last week, except this time not in the service industry, but among the fandom and nerdery industry.
Indeed.
A few days ago, a Medium article was posted by one Chloe Dykstra, the daughter of a famous special effects artiste, who for a period of 3 years was dating one Chris Hardwick, who was the host of multiple talk shows.
Most importantly, singled out.
Yeah, cut his teeth on Singled Out in the 90s, and then went on to do not much except for be kind of
Stand up.
no, I don't even think he was doing stand-up
He did stand up for
back then.
Yeah, from time to time. He's had some recently.
I also remember him from the show Shipmates, which I absolutely loved. And he dated a lady named Andrea Savage for some time, and then they broke up, and he essentially said, I'm an alcoholic, I'm going to get clean, and then started dating Chloe Dykstra for 3 years. They broke up, and now he is married to Patricia Hearst's daughter, Patty Hearst.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No, I had no idea.
Do you know who Patty Hearst is?
Yes.
'Cause
The Symbionese Liberation
if you
Front.
really want to make a Baltimore connection,
She's in
John
John Waters' movies.
was obsessed with Patty Hearst because she was kidnapped by a group of people that were trying to what were they called again?
The Symbionese Liberation Army.
What were they liberating?
Nothing.
Right, so they robbed banks.
They robbed
and
banks.
then she was basically, they brought her along to rob these banks, and she's on surveillance footage doing this, and then when she got arrested, she said, I was kidnapped, I was just playing along, and it was a Stockholm Syndrome situation.
And there's a lot of
whatever.
controversy as to whether or not that's true.
Right. So, fast forward many years later, John Waters is kind of interested in her, puts her in those movies, and now she has a daughter, and this person is married to Chris Hardwick. Now,
that is background
sorry.
information. Go.
that is information, background, comma. The post by Chloe Dykstra asserts that during their 3-year relationship, Chris Hardwick was extremely controlling, emotionally abusive, and also sexually abusive. And within a 48-hour period, possibly less, AMC yanked all of his shows.
He was suspended.
Suspended the Nerdist website that he started. You would call it almost an empire at this point, even though he has not been involved in it in some time. It is owned by Legendary Pictures. They have scrubbed him from the website completely. And he is obviously going to have to be in some sort of damage control mode.
He got yanked from several
San Diego
cons.
Yeah.
Comic-Con. His any stand-up gigs.
Is it like next weekend or like?
San Diego is in about it's in about a month.
Okay, so it's okay. It's not as pressing as I thought it was.
No.
All right, so where do we start? I happen to know a little more about Chloe Dykstra than I think anyone else in the room.
Yeah, and first I think it's important to say there's no reason we don't believe Chloe Dykstra and everything she's saying. Dudes are shitty, and like people looking for proof, it's silly. It's just, it's easy to believe, and there's no way to prove it because what happens behind closed doors, what are you going to do? Now, she does say she has proof, and she's waiting on a lawsuit if one materializes to release said proof.
Oh,
she said, I'm not going to Christ, she's almost being fair. She's like, I'm not going to put this shit out to really fuck him unless he tries to really fuck me.
And there's been a couple people from Nerdist who have come out and been like, yeah, we believe her because he's kind of a shitty guy.
I'll tell you, I listened to Nerdist's Bachelor podcast, and they left Nerdist in the middle of last season, and there was some weird, back and forth on that show that's like, oh, there's a story here. And
involving Chris Hardwick or just
I don't know,
Nerdist?
because he hasn't been around for forever.
Right.
But his contract was up in 2017. So who the fuck
with
knows?
Nerdist? He created that.
But the company, he had a contract with the company.
With Legendary?
Yeah, they bought it in 2012 or something.
So he has a new podcast called ID10T, I believe.
Idiot.
Yeah, and so he rebranded the Nerdist podcast as ID10T, and kind of continued it on.
Interesting.
Because they own the name The Nerdist.
But I want to hear from Andrea Savage because they worked together amicably, constantly on various episodes of the Nerdist podcast, and I'm like, all right, I guess it was a one-off with this other girl that he treated her like utter shit and controlled her life. So she says that...
Which can happen.
She was not allowed to drink alcohol. She was not allowed to hang out with boys. She was not allowed to do this and that and the other. The alcohol thing, I kind of get it because he was an alcoholic. He doesn't like being around it, I guess. I don't know, but that has no right for him to tell her what to do.
Right.
Life-wise.
You still don't get to order people to do things.
It's shitty. So, when I look at this, you can take any one of those things, and in my mind, you can semi-rationalize. The alcohol thing, I see that. I'm like, okay. Talking
to anybody and don't hang out with your friends.
Maybe if you're an alcoholic, you make the personal decision, I can't be involved with anybody who is going to be drinking because it's too tempting for me.
Right.
That's still kind of shitty to be like, okay, well,
but that,
you're not
that
going to drink.
Have been
but
a relationship ender if that were the case. You get into this deep, dark tunnel of thought about if this went on for 3 years, why didn't you get out?
Well, why don't they leave is the question,
it's so.
I'm sure. Yes, please.
I was in a really bad relationship with a guy, and everybody says to me oh, you're a really strong person. Why didn't you just leave? It's well, there's a lot of guilt. They make you feel like you can't do better than them. It's I don't know, it's a lot of gaslighting.
Okay.
And plus he was 20 years her senior, and I've dealt with a college professor who was 30 years my senior who was doing similar stuff to me. It didn't really go very far outside of that, but I feel like he was taking advantage of a young girl who didn't know any better because she doesn't have the experience.
And no one said that. He's on day one. He's like, here's my Christian Grey style contract that you got to sign.
Well, here's a statement I'll make about both of these people, and you can agree or disagree. Hardwick and Chloe, both kind of climbers, right? So my knowledge of her goes back to mid-2000s when we were on this website called the Something Awful Forums. And at that time, she's dating this guy who was in a band that was internet popular, and it fell apart, and it turned out the guy, she wanted him to move in with her, and then he was like, no, I want to live with my parents. I don't even remember if these guys were 19 at the time. I'm not sure. I think she's only just now turning 30. So, yeah, when I heard that Chris Hardwick was dating her, first of all, I didn't recognize that he was in his 40s at that time. And
yeah, he's an old man who pretends to be a kid.
He's 47.
Yeah.
Which I thought, you look at him and he obviously does not look 47 whatsoever. But I guess what I'm getting at is I became aware of her again once she had been dating Chris Hardwick, because prior to that, she went through this whole live journal / cam girl / I guess eventually cosplay stuff that essentially, and this is how, cyberbully, and you want to talk about toxic masculinity, but like everyone referred to her as an attention whore on the internet. It was like all they wanted to do was punch her, like punch down onto her.
Right. The idea.
How dare this hot girl like basically cash in on the fact that she's attractive and like can make some money doing sex stuff or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And she has multiple quotes like saying about how it's not a big deal to her, like whatever.
Which is stuff that you, Lauren, have heard yourself.
Absolutely. I've had people tell me that I'm just an attention whore because
you post stuff on the internet.
Because I had an Amazing Fantasy 15. I had a Spider-Man 1. I had a Pep 22.
Oh.
So people were like, well, you're just seeking attention. No, I spent real money on those books because I'm an actual fan.
There are cheaper ways to get attention.
There's like cheaper ways than $60,000 blowing on a book,
right,
to get your attention.
Putting out content on the internet is not looking for attention. That's a revenue stream.
It's been. I remember when I first joined a specific web forum for a.
Did you make the mistake of posting the fact that you were a female?
Well, my tag has always been Baltimore Lauren. Somebody else gave me that name. I didn't make it up on my own. And
it does seem a bit presumptuous, but
Well, it's a funny story. This girl thought that her boyfriend was fucking me, so she was like, "Are you going out with that girl from Baltimore? What's her name? Baltimore Lauren?" And I was like, "Fuck it, that's my name now."
Yeah, keep it right.
That was like almost 12 years ago, but like, I joined this web forum because I had just bought an Amazing Fantasy 15.
First appearance of Spider-Man, for those who don't know.
And I wanted to talk about collecting Silver Age Marvel comics specifically. And immediately people were like, oh, you're a guy who's pretending to be a girl looking for attention because you're a sicko. And I'm like, no, I really am. I identify as a female.
Yeah, I'm here for this. Right.
And I just want to talk about old comic books because I like Platinum Age books. I like Golden Age books. And I would like to speak to like-minded individuals. Unfortunately, almost everybody who collects those books is an older man who cannot fathom that a young woman is interested in those books.
Which, it's funny. So when I was in my 20s and you hit college and all of a sudden you're surrounded by new and different people, and girls were there, and girls would talk about like, oh, I like comics. Be like, yeah, I'm sure you've read Sandman, and like, goodbye. Right, I was a dick, but then I kind of grew up, and I was like, oh no, everybody likes everything. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
And I'm talking about like 25. Like
sure.
I got there early.
When you're a kid, like, okay, things are different when you're younger.
Yeah.
But like I grew up reading comics. Obviously Archie is my niche, but I grew up reading DC, Marvel, manga, and I got into it before it became popular.
What about Image?
Yes, I read Image too.
Okay.
Does that make you feel better?
No, I don't know.
She has a Spawn #1.
What was the one with the cow? Top Cow.
Yeah.
Top Cow is still a thing.
Okay.
They're owned by Image.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I now not so much because of not how notorious I am, but my name is out there. But when I first started, it was a lot of, well, prove that you're a real fan. How, like, prove it. I don't have to prove it. I went to Big Apple Comic-Con 2008, and I was on the market for a Batman #2, which follows Batman #1.
That's Batman #2,
which is an old book.
Second appearance of the Joker.
Yes. And this was before DC relaunched and did everything over again. And I went up to a dealer, and they were like, do you even know what you're talking about? I'm like, yes, I do. The one that follows #1. You have it on your wall. Can I see it? I have money. Please let me see this book. As it is, I won't do business with... what's that one dealer in New York? It's a comic shop. It's a very well-known comic shop.
Is it the place in Times Square? Midtown?
Yes, Midtown. They had a Captain America #1, and I already had a Captain America #1 signed by Joe Simon.
Uh-huh.
And that's no laughing matter. That's a fucking book.
Because he's dead for 20 years.
Right. But I had it signed by Joe Simon. And they had a reader copy on their wall. And I was like, can I see it? Because I might be interested in buying it. And they're like, well, you can't afford it. And I was like, well, that's fucking hilarious because I just bought one signed by Joe Simon. But Metropolis is always happy to take my money.
Right.
So I'll just deal with them for the rest of my life, which I have. I will only deal with them.
What do you think it is? Because a lot of the stuff surrounding the Chloe Dykstra story is one defending. There's a lot of defense of Chris Hardwick. You know, how do you know? Yeah,
I've seen a lot of it on my own Facebook.
I haven't. I'll be honest. The only thing I could find in defense of him was actually from his mother-in-law.
Well, so I mean, nothing official. I'm not talking about defense, but like the commentariat is saying things like there. You need to see proof. Or
I've had mostly men who work in the industry in some capacity say, "I want to see proof." Well, as somebody, I've been assaulted. I've been abused by an ex-boyfriend.
You have no proof to present.
Wait, do you not believe me?
Right.
Yeah, I think that is what really sort of inhabiting the male mindset. What gets to them is like the fact that his life is essentially ruined based on an accusation by somebody who, in that realm of men, look at her as, quote, attention whore, cam whore, Twitch stream, whatever, like somebody who can't be trusted. So that's where my question was going. What do you think it is about fandom, genre fandom specifically?
It's always been a boys' club.
Yeah.
I'm an Overstreet advisor. I've been in books. I've been on TV. I know a lot about comics, but at the end of the day, I still have to prove myself almost daily that I can compete with everybody else. So it's a boys' club.
So here's my question: there is, as the boys' club, but a certain kind of boys' club. It is not a lacrosse team boys' club.
No, it is. Yeah, you're right. I know what you're saying.
Why do these men who are oftentimes sheltered and do not have the experience? And I get it, they don't have the experience. They don't have the social cues. They don't have it all to deal with any kind of girl who walks into the store. Why? Where do you think the hostility comes from?
Jealousy?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Why can't I get a girlfriend?
Right.
Why is she in here and why isn't she paying attention to me?
So this was not a problem that I had while reading comic books.
Well, because it feeds into the whole like incel thing, right? These guys are so miserable and they live in their parents' basement, and how dare this hot girl get online and start talking about comic books the way that I do, because
it can't be real.
It's not allowed.
I mean, I've had dudes on message boards realize that, okay, I'm a legitimate. They've seen me at conventions. I've had numerous dick pics sent to me, because obviously that's going to get me hot and bothered. It doesn't. Don't ever do that.
Disclaimer.
At least unasked for,
But like, I don't know. It could be. I really think it's just jealousy, just a possessive thing, gatekeeping.
Yeah, it's one of the things I've found. One of my jobs in the store. Yeah, I didn't try. I didn't want to really order a beer.
It was a beer run. It was a beer run.
One of the things I try to do in the store is gatekeeping. It's anathema to what I want to do. These men who think they need to keep girls out of comics or prove that girls are into comics, they don't understand that little boys aren't reading comics and little girls are.
Right.
But, this kind of gatekeeping, this kind of controlling who's a real comics fan and not, is going to kill the place where you get your comics from, except that these aren't people who are buying comics. They are also people who steal comics.
Yeah, that's true. I am guilty of gatekeeping myself when Riverdale became more popular than I care to admit. I was like, I've been reading Archie since 1989.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you guys?
Yeah.
Right.
But that's like, okay.
But you can't do that with Batman.
Right, because I mean, I get it, and I stop myself, and I'm like, you know what, Lauren, stop. Like, it's fucking Archie Andrews. Get over it.
But that just makes you the area expert on the subject matter. So of course you're going to have a little bit of ego about it,
I think my ego falls with like, I get weirdly possessive with Jughead. I have a Jughead Jones tattoo.
Okay.
I got it 13 years ago, and like people are like, "Well, Jughead is asexual. He's only asexual in the reboot."
Yeah, he just loves hamburgers.
In the Bob Montana universe, he wasn't drawing an asexual character in 1940.
Right.
He was drawing a dude who likes fucking hamburgers.
Yeah.
I am listening to this conversation, and I feel like it goes back to just what like people want in general. Like everyone wants to feel special, and everyone wants to feel like, people. Like I see it at school all the time. It's like, no, this is my thing, or no, that's my thing. Like it's not human nature, but
stop copying me.
Exactly. Why are you copying me? Well, something that you do, they like, but it's hard because you're like, no, wait, that's my thing.
Well, I think with me specifically with Archie, and I don't know if anybody else can really relate to this. When I was in elementary school, 91 to 97, girls would rip up my Archie books and be like, "This is for babies. You're a fucking loser for reading Archie comics."
That's a whole different level of like
So reals?
Yeah.
I just can't even imagine. I was such a loser in school.
So I'm just gonna be
imagine.
fucking frank. I went to a school called Bryn Mawr.
Oh, well, that makes more sense, I guess.
I got abused physically by teachers and students. And one of the abuses, it was like, you read comics, you're a fucking loser. So I became very protective of it.
And it's so interesting because I don't want to... I don't make a secret of it. I fucking peaked in high school, right? Like, I was popular. I played sports. Like, I had a lot of friends. And liking comics was like just a part of who I was. It wasn't this thing that I had to protect and looked as like. I don't understand these fans who hate comics so much that they make it into the reason their lives suck. And like, what are they doing? Like, then why are they there?
When I was kicked out of Bryn Mawr for having back surgery,
which seems fishy.
And it is because they're fucking fishy.
I was going to say private school can do whatever they want
because they're private school. But when I went to middle school, I went to Sudbrook, which is a magnet school. And I met people there that were into comics, and we became friends.
I assume in the Japanese track.
Yeah, I was actually in the Japanese
There we go.
But I made...
Sudbrook is a magnet middle school. One of its big selling point in 1994 when they wanted us to go there was Japanese.
And I was a visual arts magnet, but Japanese was my elective for 3 years. And I met people who were like into comics and loved it. And it made me feel better. It made me feel like, okay, these girls that made fun of me, these teachers that pulled my arm out of my socket for 1,000 years at what felt like 1,000 years in elementary school, I felt better about it. And now that Riverdale is so popular,
it's proven you right.
And it's like, I feel vindicated. I feel like I was right this whole time. Why did everybody make fun of me? Why was I contemplating suicide at 9 years old?
Right.
Because I liked Archie comics.
I remember. We'll get back to Chris Hardwick and all this other stuff. I remember when I was.
It's all part and parcel. That's the thing. Like,
that's true.
Chris Hardwick felt that he could get away with it because of this insular community. I bet you he felt like he was owed. Like, if you read the article, the essay, he felt like he was owed.
I also feel like he found an opportunity and jumped on it.
Sure.
Like, nerd culture has exploded.
So, yes, I remember when he started doing these like tech features, like tech reviews, like reviewing new gadgets on G4/Tech TV, whatever that show was called.
Way back in the day.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was like less than 10 years ago.
It's
or
like,
maybe just
hey,
about
that
10
guy.
years ago.
It was a
And
little bit
I was
longer
like,
than that, wasn't it?
Yeah, Chris Hardwick, I guess he's now doing tech stuff. And I remember him saying, I've always been into this stuff. I decided to sort of do it as a line of work.
Right. When Will Friedle has a Facebook show about painting miniatures, it's more believable when he's like, I've never done this before, but I've gotten into it in the last 18 months, and I'll make a show about it. That's believable.
And so since nerd culture was on the rise, I mean, even before then, but I don't know whether he consciously knew that he was jumping in on something that was going to be mainstream and that he would be the de facto sort of face of it.
It doesn't matter because the fact is he got onto podcasts early enough that he was the podcast vanguard. Like was his trick.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I had never heard of this guy or Chloe until Friday morning when my best friend was like, "What do you think this means for San Diego?"
Right.
And the only thing I could say was, San Diego has been around for decades.
Right.
They will be fine. We, as a community, will be fine.
Oh, I was just in San Diego.
How about this?
So beautiful.
What woman do you hire to replace him?
I'll do it.
Right, you'll do it. There we go.
Aisha Tyler.
Really anybody.
What's really weird about
Aisha Tyler's a great choice. I actually really like that choice.
like it just timing wise. So I've been listening to Armchair Expert by Dax Shepard, and he was interviewing Mark Maron within the past month, and Mark Maron kind of went on a tangent about Chris Hardwick.
Really?
About how Chris Hardwick, he's a comedian, but what Chris Hardwick is, he's obsessed with being a brand. Not necessarily he wasn't
a brand.
He wasn't slanderizing him, but he was basically that is his thing. He wants to be a brand, and I want to be a comic, and that's kind of how he came up in the conversation.
Right.
And then that kind of plays into the whole essay. Is that that's part of what she says is he was obsessed with celebrities.
A climber, but having known the history of Chloe Dykstra, I feel the same way about her as well. But
it doesn't allow that be
exactly.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve
it's not
that.
No, you don't deserve to be abused because of that. I'm identifying her as that, them both being similar in that sort of trajectory, and
it makes sense that they would intersect.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious as to, it's there's something wrong with both of them, and she unfortunately became a victim in that. But I want to know. I want to know more. I want to know what
You'll see more.
I'm sure. Yeah, more stuff will come out because
a lot of Nerdist writers came out and said, yes, we believe her. You should believe victims.
I think because I can totally buy that as a guy who is clearly on a certain pathway, trajectory, whatever, that he would be super controlling. And I guess the reason that. And that alone would not get him shit canned from all of his jobs. It's the accusation of sexual rape, that would.
Right.
There's a difference. There's a difference between a hand on the back of the head, which is hated, and ordering the fact that you're going to be naked when I come home, and controlling
awful.
a person.
Yeah, it's very. It sucks. I don't want to stand up for him at all. I'm not gonna.
Right.
Right.
Smooth move.
Especially because I don't give a shit about his career.
Right.
I was enough of this guy already. He's now on Comcast commercials. I hate him officially.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's been the spokesperson for Comcast Xfinity for a while now.
I remember 2 years ago, this guy reached out to me on Instagram, which is where you go to meet your future wives.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he saw a picture of my Golden Age comics, and he was just fascinated that I was into it. But he found out that I also worked in comics, so I think he wanted to hitch his bandwagon to me.
Oh.
And we started quote unquote dating, but he had a fiance or wife in Texas, and it was messy. I hope nothing but the worst for him.
Yeah, it always makes me sad. And I'm not talking about the guys on the people on the spectrum who walk into the store and aren't, they're not working with a full deck and they're doing the best they can and they're really nice and they're, they can do shit wrong, but there's no malice. And then there's the other guys that have just a nice undercurrent of,
sociopathy.
So what do you think it is? They're nice guys. What is it about comics? What is it about fandom?
So
that breeds these nice guys.
They see you see the ideal man in Superman, in Captain America, in any of your superheroes. So you can mimic how they act, how they sound. With this guy in particular, he was in the Air Force, so he could come off as the real American hero. And he's everything I read in Chloe's piece reminded me of him because he gave me rules too, and I was like, well, fuck your rules. I don't follow anything. And it was just, I don't know. It's hard. I'm trying to answer this question.
No, it's not an easy question to answer.
relate it to myself, but like they're really good at pretending.
Okay.
And
they see. I mean, they see the role models. They see the heroes who are getting the girl, completely ignoring the fact. Well, that's the way it's written. And look at them being proactive and like look at them in that skin tight outfit. They're punching guys. Don't punch guys, but maybe work on the skin tight outfit.
It's also a total fantasy.
Yeah, it is. And like Gosh, I don't even know how to say it.
It's just so much easier to identify with these fictional characters than do the work, A, of making yourself better, and B, learning that these women are real people that, with real feelings.
He wanted me to be his, like, Lois Lane.
Right.
And he lived in California.
And that's cute, like, when you hear it once, but not like, I want you to be my Lois Lane. Okay, guy,
right.
Chill.
He wanted me to be his Princess Ariel. He was a Disneyland pass holder. Lived in Riverside, California. In case anybody in California.
Meth capital of California.
Is it?
I didn't.
Why do you know that?
I think I watched one of those addiction shows. I don't. It's a problem there.
Riverside is actually beautiful, just for the hell of it. But they see these characters. They want to emulate them. They want to so badly be the good guy.
Right.
And in turn, they just wind up being the villain.
If
you live long enough, you see yourself become the bad guy.
That was deep as hell. I don't give her a thing. Give her a thing.
What am I giving her?
More you know.
I love it. I love it.
Close enough.
I love it.
But I mean, a lot of it. I don't mean to be super personal, and I hope anybody listening can take something out of my stories. But comic books make you believe that you can be the best you can possibly be,
with no work.
Or with little consequence.
Right.
Look at it. Like, let's be real. Superman, Batman, Batgirl is my favorite hero. But Gotham City gets ruined. Or, there's like actual structural damage to buildings. They have little consequence.
Did you read Batman White Knight?
Not yet.
That it's a major plot point is the fact that Batman yearly does $2 billion worth of damage to Gotham City.
Right.
And honestly, if you want to read a social justice take on Batman, Batman White Knight is very cool.
I would love to read it.
It's very good.
But it's superheroes want to make you be your best you, but not everybody can recognize that.
And not everybody's capable of doing it at all.
Right.
So
some people think they are owed certain things.
I'm glad you said that because I think that's essentially the take that I've seen from a lot of these internet bullies, and let's just call them that.
Hey, he was doing her favors. Why couldn't she just have sex with him?
I was nice to her, and I bought her an Archie art. Why didn't she suck my dick?
Correct. It's incredible amounts of
I know it's real.
It's a perfect example. It's like, well, I sent her a free pizza. Why doesn't she return my text messages?
Somebody did buy me Archie and Batman art, and they were like, "Do you want to go on a date?" And I said, "I have a boyfriend."
Yeah, I didn't ask you to do this. Please don't. I mean, but coming from your angle, like you get this art that some strange man bought you and expects something. I'd be petrified because it's like
I'm a paranoid person.
Yeah, because that means you're on somebody's radar, and not only what do you do with the art? Do you keep it? Do you give it away? Do you?
I kept it, but like
I mean, like it was cool.
I put it on my wall immediately.
I got it framed professionally. I don't know. It's
how's this? You know what? She gets to keep that. That's a gift, Donnie.
Of course.
And like
that's the asshole tax.
Well, in a way, like I would look at it and feel a little uncomfortable every time I look at it. But if it's like got real value, especially in your world,
it's funny. I really haven't experienced, and I gotta say, Bleeding Cool's readers have never really been a dick to me.
They're terrible on
everybody
the comments.
else is,
yeah.
But to me, I've really never experienced like the fandom hate. I don't get it, and it's fine, and I'm fine with that because I get it from every other point of fandom. But I've just had people try to ride my coattails mostly. I don't get. I've had one or two times people be like, "Oh, I bought you this thing. Have sex with me."
Ugh.
That's not how it works. Like, No, but mostly I just get guys.
You gotta tell me a funny joke and make me laugh first, big boy.
It's just fascinating.
So we know how to get into Evan's pants.
Yeah, no.
I like long walks on the beach.
Yeah, yes, all that generic bullshit that internet people think is like still real. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. The internet, it's the fucking worst.
It really is, and I think it's making us all crazier than we've ever been in history, and that's why the suicide rate is on the rise. And I still kind of sort of think that if Chloe Dykstra and Chris Hardwick were people that were not in the public sphere, no one would fucking care. It's like, whatever, dude, this is baggage. It's just old news. Like, you guys broke up. Like, that's between you and him and this and that and the other. But he's a person of note that's tied to money and media. And they're like, well, we have a zero-tolerance policy for any and all accusations of this and that and the other.
I know exactly what you're saying. And I think instead of, like, contradicting you, just to even take it further, I think it's when the people who don't fucking matter, the non-Chris Hardwicks, also, like, get their just desserts, get their comeuppance. You're right. This is happening to Chris Hardwick because he's famous. There are many other abusers. There are many other assholes out there who get nothing because they're not famous.
Right.
Who get away with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's part of my frustration with these types of situations is like there are a lot of wife beaters out there. There are probably a couple of them on my block, like right now. And nothing's happening to them, and if they do any time whatsoever, as soon as they get out, they're going to go back to doing it.
Earl walked right through that restraining order and put her in intensive care.
Exactly. There's songs about this stuff.
Yeah. Right. Like, that is there is people, it's when it comes down to, yes, right now it is the famous. And it bothers people. They're like, but I like him. But, well, you know what? You like your dad, too. And occasionally your dad would have a couple of whiskey sours and give your mom a black eye.
And I know that there's at least 100,000 mouth breathers on the internet right now that look at Chloe Dykstra and they're saying she's just still an attention whore and she's doing this for attention and she's trying to further her career by ruining another famous person's career.
Right.
So here's my personal story, Lauren. So one day when
you do have a personal story.
I do. You know what? I've lived a life. So early on in my father's relationship with my mother, my mother's grandmother, my great grandmother, walked into a family dinner with a black eye. My grandfather pulls aside my grandmother and says, Eunice, what's the deal there? And she says, Eddie, it ain't the first time. It ain't the last time. So, like, my great-grandfather, Ben, no one gave a shit that he would, like, slap around my great-grandmother. And, in fact, they always talk about how she deserved it. Like chances, like, she was not an easy woman.
Okay, but she doesn't deserve that.
I know, but look how easily I did that. Like,
and it's a society thing,
right?
Like my problematic ex-boyfriend. Was now he's fine. I'm friends with him now, but he was addicted to drugs. He was an alcoholic. He wasn't physically abusive. He was emotionally abusive, and he was very awful. But a lot of people could say, well, I deserved it because I treated Pat like shit.
Right.
And for a while, I believed that too because I was awful to Pat the last few years. And I'm very sorry that I was awful to Pat because he didn't deserve that. But did I deserve having a guy try to isolate me from my friends, steal my car, take my money, just like really make me feel like I wasn't worth anything? So
here's a question. In that statement, you said that, like, he's a different person now. Like, if you don't forgive him, you guys have come to terms.
I acknowledge the fact that he wanted to get better, but he had to hit rock bottom, and it was after I left him.
So here's a question I have. Chris Hardwick puts out an apology, right?
It's not. Did you read his apology?
I had to.
It was awful.
It is terrible. He speaks. He blames on her. He calls her a cheater and says, "That's what I did."
His PR team needs to learn how to PR or get fired.
Okay, so
what I thought was interesting. So I didn't actually read the whole like press release. But what I understand, he was like, "Yeah, we had a bad relationship. She was a cheater," but didn't acknowledge any of the stuff about
And then
trying
he
to
goes,
blackball her.
Well, then he says, "Well, I'm married and I have a kid on the way, so you can trust me." No, go fuck yourself. Like, acknowledge that maybe you treated her like shit and apologize.
So here's my question.
I also think it's entirely possible that they treated each other like shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So here's my question. Instead of the apology that Chris Hardwick puts out, Chris Hardwick says, everything Chloe says is true. That was who I was. It is not who I am. I have reckoned with myself. I am not that person, and I'm sorry. To me, that's okay. So that sounds like a good apology.
And people can change.
Does he get a second chance then? If he puts out that apology, does he get a second chance?
That's up to everybody else. That's not up to me.
Because then you get into this crazy depth of discussion about people's private business between each other, and if he's a sexual abuser but was never brought on charges because X, Y, or Z, does he deserve to work anymore?
So let me, from a personal standpoint,
Yeah.
I had to get a restraining order on my problematic ex because he was driving by my house.
Yeah.
He was knocking on my windows.
Yeah.
He was actually physically stalking me. I've been physically stalked
Yes.
before.
It's I know a
And-
shocking amount of women who have been physically stalked.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know.
also, what about your boy in the Coug?
I'm sorry?
Me and the Coug.
You
I
haven't
was
actually told that whole story.
I told
Or
a lot
maybe
of
you
it.
have. No, you hinted at it and then you said, I'll send you the emails.
Oh yeah, that's a great email. But yes, I mean, it also happens. Not all men, guys.
Whatever. But here's the thing. Like, yeah, I did exactly what society tells you to do. Go to the cops.
Yeah.
You know what the cops told me?
Nothing.
Did he physically hurt you? We can't do anything.
We can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, it happens to like Sandra Bullock all the time. She had some. It happens to Caitlin off mics as children. I'm sure it happens at schools.
Oh, yeah.
But Sandra Bullock had some stalker, and she couldn't get anyone to do anything about it.
So she killed him.
No, but he eventually killed himself in her house or something.
Holy
But
fuck.
that's
Yeah.
what happens. It takes them doing something so extreme for the cops to be like, oh, well, shit.
Yeah.
Like, I remember this guy who I'm okay with now followed me in his car one day.
I don't see how any police.
What?
How any police organization in the country can say to themselves, yes, we should make sure that we have a folder full of calls that we did nothing on when this
Yeah.
person gets murdered, you know?
Well, so the person I tried to get a restraining order on, he cleaned up. He got help. He
Right.
is in therapy. He's on medication. I can tell you, he's a much better person now.
That's important because so if we're in a phase in society where
Yeah, but he was also addicted to drugs and an alcoholic.
Oh.
Like, I can't speak for everybody else, but not everybody else needs therapy. Not everybody else needs medication. Some people are just fucked up.
Right. Well, I would argue that they do need therapy.
Maybe.
Maybe you
Probably.
can help them. Maybe you can fix them. I don't
Mental
know.
health in this country is a joke.
It is a joke, and I think we have a fairly unique problem with it that other countries maybe don't have. But my question is essentially, now that we're beginning to essentially not only entertain but enforce this idea that domestic relations will reflect upon your employment status. So currently it's very hard to aforementioned podcast about the guy who got out of jail for murder, having a very hard time getting a job.
You guys, ban the box.
Yeah, and then now people are saying ban the box. What do we do? How do we rectify with like these domestic situations where guy beats his wife, beats his kids, does whatever? Like, I mean, I've said previously, well, if you have that on record, you don't get to have a gun. That's for sure. We're very comfortable in some spaces saying if you got a criminal record or you are a convicted criminal, you don't get to vote.
And then the question becomes, what are we doing with these people?
What are we doing with them, and how do we get it? How do we get them to behave? And is the idea of stripping them of employment going to work? I don't think it will.
It's going to make him angrier.
Right. I don't think Chris Hardwick has anything to worry about. He's married to a Hearst. Like, he's a multimillionaire.
Right.
I don't know. Did you see that movie?
Jeffy the truck driver, huh?
Is that movie, The Ends of the Earth or whatever, the one that Christopher Plummer had to be in?
Oh.
That's about the Hearsts.
It is. Woo. At any rate, he still has tons of money. But yes,
I think in the long run,
He will work again
He'll be okay
next year.
because he's he is just a regular ass white dude living in America.
Which means he's the greatest.
That's true.
And I hope that she finds peace because I've been where she is and it's not fun.
I think ultimately that was the point of her writing that
And
up.
she never even called him out. She never said him by
not
name.
by name, but wow. you might as well have.
Yeah, that's the only I believe her. Like, I think Chris Hardwick's a dick. I think he's an asshole. The only thing about that piece that rubbed me the wrong way was the fact that she did everything but name him by name, and then
it was so on purpose that
to me it seemed like because she said that she was like, I'm not doing this to penalize him, although
Except
that may be
maybe
a consequence. But from the jump, it was he's a older man and he used to be a podcaster.
He has a website.
Now CEO.
But
He's like it was obvious.
I've
right
had
away.
people tell me, like, do you want to pull the trigger on accusing the people who have fucked you up? Because you're going to have to live with that the rest of your life. And it's almost like, why are you still blaming me? Why are you making me feel bad?
Right, why is that her problem?
Why
is it your problem?
Are you making it my problem that these men made me feel unsafe in an industry that I work in? Why should I feel bad about saying X, Y, and Z sent me dick pics and stalked me at a convention?
I also think, to answer Casey's question about identifying him, everyone knows who they were dating. Everyone's going to know it was him anyway.
And that's kind of where I think she should have just said I think it would come off a little bit. I'm just me. It would have came off a little bit better if she just I dated Chris Hardwick. Everyone knows that he was an asshole.
Yeah.
Think
you
she
know Chris
deserves
Hardwick?
that.
I know him like this. It was almost passive aggressive.
Yeah, she shouldn't have to dance around
I don't
it.
think it was passive aggressive. I understand where she's coming from. You want to still. It's not protecting, but it's a peace of mind. Because as soon as you say it was so and so, people are gonna be like, "You're a fucking liar and you're making it up." And I don't think she's making it up.
I don't think she's making it up. I do believe all of the control issues are probably there. But I still would. I need to hear from Andrea Savage. I need to hear from her.
So then, to kind of put a cap on this generally, what does Fandom do? How does it get better? How does it make spaces? As somebody who spends a lot of time at conventions, which is its own toxic cesspool, what does Fandom do to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen, or to at least rally around people when it does?
You really need to believe victims, regardless of their gender or what they identify as. The call-out nature that I've seen on social media doesn't exactly help.
It's very, very, very aggressive and reactionary, and sometimes
it does,
gets it
but
wrong.
at the same time, it does help. Call them out, but you need if you are a problematic person, regardless of what you identify as, you need to realize that these people deserve their safe space within our industry. And I think I don't know the answers because I don't know.
Right. Sure.
I do think an element of aggressive correction is probably in order, especially
Sure.
online where people are leaving comments that are just puerile at best, and then somebody needs
I've
to
gone
say,
after
"Shut
people.
the fuck up, dude."
I've gone after people. I've yelled at people. I have no problems opening my mouth. But
Actually, if you want to hear a podcast that's very instructive in terms of call-out culture, it's Invisibilia, and there's an episode called "The Call-Out," and it's about this girl that got deeply ingrained in the hardcore scene in Richmond. Or maybe it was death metal. Who knows? At any rate, she came out as this vanguard, started her own girl metal group. The lyrics were about the sexual harassment within the community, and then it turned out that years prior she had posted slut shaming pictures of other girls and was going on and on about that, and then she was the recipient of a call out and was ostracized completely from that community, and it damaged her real bad. And I'm well, you reap what you sow in a lot of ways. But
I've had people be like, because I used to do pinup modeling. So I've had
Atomic Cheesecake.
I've worked with her a few times.
Oh, very good.
But
Shout out.
I've had people be like, well, I'm going to take your like more risque pictures and blackmail you. Well, I took them for a reason.
Right. I paid money for those.
They're on the internet.
I posted them myself. So you go, bro. But I don't know. Just I think people need to be more understanding, more empathetic, more realizing that, like, honestly, at the end of the day, comic books are for everybody. There's a hero for everybody. There's a space for everybody. And
more people at the party is just a good time.
Like, really, at the end of the day, these are... Originally, they were books for kids.
Right.
Like, we are...
And now the kids are adults.
and we're arguing about fucking superheroes that wear underwear on the outside of their costumes.
I think you know. Actually...
Well, actually, Lauren.
It's a shout out to the 1930s weightlifters.
Okay,
and
so are we going to go back to vaudeville?
Yeah,
Because I can tap dance with you any day of the week.
Oh, absolutely!
All right.
I know.
That's another conversation for another episode. It's a little nichey.
Are we going to talk about Platinum Age books? Because I have opinions about
What's the
Yellow
Platinum
Kid.
Age?
Now.
Oh, okay.
Or the 90s.
What's going to be the next age?
I don't know.
Nano-
Yeah, wait. What is the Platinum Age?
Platinum Age was like 1800s through like Superman #1.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, then fuck that shit.
You were wrong.
Oh,
well,
what?
actually, you were wrong.
I was wrong. I don't know. A little yellow kid. I mean, like.
Well, Yellow Kid was named after yellow journalism.
Right.
What's the Diamond Age? Is there a Diamond Age?
There's no. I don't think so. There was
All right.
Atomic
Well.
Age.
Chromium Age is
Emerald
I guess,
Age?
the 90s.
Ruby Age?
No.
We're in the bullshit age.
Yes, we are in the bullshit age. Title of the episode.
Yeah,
Thank you, Lauren.
I love it.
Please credit me.
I will.
We sometimes keep a running list.
So in summary, I think we do need an in summary because I feel like the online the online nature of fandom is so strong, right? Like from pro wrestling to comic books to video games.
And you know what's fucked up? Like, I'm in the pro wrestling thing, and like I have yet to receive any
Oh, that's fascinating.
any problems, and I know they exist, and I'm like, I don't want to find them.
No. This is a very interesting. No. This is a very interesting, like, sort of take. Like,
I fucking love Cody Rhodes.
which of the
Too sweet me, bro.
Which of the obviously video games have a huge problem. Comic books have a huge problem. And as you're saying anecdotally, professional wrestling not so much. Like,
See,
what are the other realms that
Professional
don't seem
wrestling
to
has
have
a
this
problem.
problem?
Well, professional wrestling has a lot of issues in a lot of areas.
Yeah, in the way that it historically has run its operations.
But
I'm specifically just talking about fandom.
Fandom is pretty terrible too, but
Is it?
Generally,
I don't know.
I think people
I'm not
need
part
to,
of that community.
in fandom generally, regardless if you like wrestling, comic books, anime, video games, if somebody else likes it, let them enjoy it.
Right.
Don't
Don't
try
yuck
to-
their yum.
Just let them enjoy it.
I often say to my kids at school that, like, if it
At
doesn't
what?
hurt you in any sort of way, then it's okay for them
Right.
to
Are
do
they
that.
are they causing physical harm? Are they hurting
It might be
themselves?
annoying. That's
Sure.
fine. But if they're not doing it on purpose and they're just doing what makes them like happy and whatnot, then that's their
Like,
prerogative.
I used to work at Hot Topic, and I'd have yeah.
Hot Topic, a sponsor of Baltimore's Pride Parade.
Also, their
Inadvertently.
by the way, their affiliate program is amazing. I can tell you more about
Oh,
that later.
shit. What website do you have to go through?
CJ.com.
I'm a member of CJ.com.
Yeah,
That's
look
where
up
we get
Hot
our,
Topic. I
that's where-
shit you not. They have a really good affiliate program.
That's where we get our Warby Parker money from.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, like, and sometimes I get annoyed too. Like the 13-year-old kid that comes in. I want to buy this anarchy patch because I support anarchy, and I'm like, well, you got to pay sales tax on that, bro. By the way, that really fucking happened, and I was like, I kind of just want to let you steal the patch so it's actual anarchy.
You get a
but
little-
at the end of the day, like, I'm just gonna let that kid live.
Yeah.
Let him live.
That's true.
Let them live.
I do remember. So first of all, getting back to the things that, especially in elementary, middle school, whatever, like the things that you get bullied for liking. I was just obsessed with video games. I played Nintendo constantly, like for hours, and I would talk about video games, and everyone's like, "Shut up, you fucking Nintendo jock!"
I've been there.
And I was like, "What? I like this thing. Like you guys talk about softball. I don't know. Fuck you."
Here's a question. So, is this a product of growing up in the 90s, growing up in the shadow of Gen X? Like, when being enthusiastic about anything would get your ass kicked.
Oh, absolutely. I remember I got at Bryn Mawr. This girl slammed my head on the blacktop because she didn't like that I enjoyed Sailor Moon.
Right.
And I was knocked unconscious. I probably had a concussion. The school never called the ambulance because they said, if you tell your parents, we'll
get in
expel
trouble.
you.
Jeez.
We will kick you out of class.
Sailor Moon, that faggot shit.
Why
you like that shit? It's
We were
fucking
literally
stupid.
Right.
in the age demographic. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, you like those baseball cards? Like
I was
anything.
watching reruns of Sailor Moon on Cartoon Network in college.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was enjoyable.
Well,
I have a Sailor Moon tattoo.
I really, really wanted to see like the episodes with the lesbian sailors. You know, like-
They're not.
They're not.
lesbians.
Oh, it was implied.
But the anime and the manga are so. Would you like to watch it one day? We can binge it.
Sure.
I want to show you the world, shining, shimmering.
Okay. I mean, I haven't watched Sailor Moon in about 8
Oh
years.
shit, Lauren! We went to the coolest thing, and I forgot. So we went to this concert, The Little Mermen,
Oh right, yeah.
Disney's premiere.
Aw.
I mean, New York City's premiere Disney rock cover band.
Oh, that makes
New
me
York
happy.
City's premiere.
It was fucking
When they-
phenomenal.
When
So-
they come back, we need to make a trip.
Absolutely.
For those of you who don't know, I go to Disney World like 30,000 times.
You and
a year.
Casey.
I don't have that annual pass anymore.
Oh, I have the annual pass. I'm special.
Wait, is it
already-
gifted or do you just buy it?
You have to fucking buy it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
expensive.
It's not that special.
I
then.
am going back. We're already planning our next trip.
Baby's first Disney.
No. We're like, hey, mother-in-law, you're going to watch the kid, right?
Oh, well, that's
Oh, ooh, I like that.
because what are you going to do with an 8-month-old
No.
at Disney?
It's not even an
A
8-month-old.
lot.
Oh, really?
I can write you a whole itinerary.
That's amazing.
No, we firmly believe like your ass is walking the entire day. You're not in the wheelchair.
Right.
You're not in the stroller.
Wheelchair.
So
Baby
my
in a wheelchair.
I'm dragging my poor boyfriend who has no choice in this. Before we go to San Diego Comic-Con,
It was a very nice Orioles hat, by the way.
Are you going to Anaheim?
we're going to Disneyland.
never
So
been
you go
there.
to Disney World. Do you also go to Disneyland?
I go to Disneyland once a year. No, Disneyland and Disney World are different. I go to Disneyland once a year. I rode the Guardians ride last year.
I don't know.
Any
I don't
good?
know anything about.
It used to
amazing.
be the
Disney.
Tower of Terror.
It's their
and they-
Tower of Terror was turned into a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. It's
It is in
fucking
California.
insane. It's so good. You can get like 6 different sequences depending on which track you go on, different music, different scenes from like they filmed scenes for this ride with the actual actors.
Oh.
That's fun. Like the
And-
Aerosmith Kings of Mini
Yeah.
ride.
No, there's
No.
an Aerosmith ride in Disney World.
You're thinking of Disney World.
Oh, there used to be an Aerosmith ride at Kings of Minion.
So
Hey, remember that video game?
Thank you, Nick.
Generation X. Getting to Generation
if
X.
you ever do a Disney like specific episode, please let me know. I will come on here and just be like, let me tell you everything they're doing in the next 20 years.
For Casey's 30th birthday, we'll give him that.
You mean 40th?
Whatever.
Like my 30th this was a couple years ago.
I don't know how old you are,
Ditto.
Casey.
Oh no, we'll do it. We'll do it for my 40th.
October
Oh, in
What
18
day?
months?
Yes.
13th.
Fuck
oh,
you,
my
Brian.
sister is the 14.
18 months.
I don't know. How old are you?
No, I just turned 39. It's going to be in 12 months.
Aw,
Aw.
I just turned 32 in March.
October's closer. So for Casey's birthday.
Guys, let's go to Disney World.
No, if we're doing miles.
I've never been to Disney. We were in
This is now the Friends
Shut the
Making
fuck
Travel
up.
Plans podcast.
we were in Orlando last year. We did
Hey.
Universal instead.
Guess what we're doing? I will pitch in for your wedding. We're going to go to Disney World.
Oh, that sounds fun.
What the hell?
We're going to have a magical time. Do you want to come?
Yes.
We can drink around the world and we can ride
I
all the rides.
typically-
Oh, I don't
I'll
ride
drink
rides. I'll
anywhere.
hold your bags.
Holy shit. What? You don't ride rides?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I don't
oh, that's
ride
fantastic.
rides.
Great.
So what happened was we went to Hershey Park, and I grew up loving rides, and like
I love Hershey.
and like I went on like a few rides. I'm like, guys, this feels different. This is never happened before. And
Do
just,
what you feel comfortable doing.
I don't do
support
shit. I like eat a whole lot and I drink. Like that's what I do.
you. So
And,
in
like,
Epcot,
Drink soda too.
in Walt Disney World, you can drink around the world. You can eat around the world. You can get shit faced in Disney World.
yeah.
My favorite is trying to do around the world during Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, it's so
because
good.
they add extra countries.
Can
Well,
you
it's
get
like-
us into Club 33?
That's in Disneyland, my darling.
are
But
you
I
gonna try-
probably could.
Are you going to go to that when you're there?
So my goal for us in Disneyland
Walt's
is
office.
no. Pixar Pier is opening in California Adventure. I want to ride the Incredible roller coaster.
Okay. Like, why are these goals? Why can't you just do them? I
They're
understand
not really goals because I'm going to do them.
Right.
But
She's gonna wait a
I'm
long
just saying,
time.
if anybody listening needs some help with Disney planning,
Oh, there you go.
please, for the love of Christ, get at me. I will plan your entire fucking vacation.
You do it for fun.
I love Disney. I love it. And I only love the parks. I recognize that there are problems within the company, but I fucking love Disney
Oh,
World.
wait, you don't like the movies and stuff?
I don't know. I love the movies.
Oh, gotcha.
But I know that they can be problematic, and I know that they're not exactly inclusive. And there's some other
Did you
issues
see
as
Princess and the
well.
Frog? Get out of here.
Whatever. Interspecies relationships. But I love Disney. I love the parks. I think they really go above and beyond, and they're magical.
I think everybody gets one thing, right? Like you're allowed to like one problematic thing.
Right.
Like mine is Boy Meets World,
Well, it's
which
funny.
went to Disneyland World
Archie used to be problematic as well.
until the reboot.
Everything's been problematic. Everything will be
Well,
problematic.
fair enough.
So when they introduced Chuck Clayton, who was the first black character, they got angry letters about introducing a black character into the white world of Archie comics.
Does Chuck show up in the Spire comics?
I think he's in a couple of them.
Oh, disappointing.
But Jughead dressed up as Hitler once.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
In the 40s.
In the 40s.
For funsies?
It was a story where he accidentally put on the uniform.
Do you have?
I
that?
have the issue.
If you could send, is it slabbed?
It's not. It's raw.
Oh, send me a
Yeah,
pic.
I'll send you pictures. But like my Archie collection is mostly Golden Age, so I have all the problematic issues.
That's amazing.
And I can tell you, like, Jughead has had at least 5 girlfriends.
Oh yeah,
So
Ethel, right?
Ethel technically was one of them in the Return to Riverdale.
Midge. Well, Midge didn't
Midge was
Moose.
never. No, Midge was with Moose. In the made-for-TV movie called Return to Riverdale, which was
Starring Lauren
originally-
Holly.
which was originally a pilot for Archie as an adult coming back to Riverdale.
Yes.
But it didn't get picked up, so that's why they turned it into a quote-unquote made-for-TV movie.
It was in Blockbuster and stuff.
I own the video and the DVD, and if there was a Laserdisc, I would own
I
it.
said, right. I remember you have Laserdisc.
I fucking love Laserdiscs. Send me your Laserdiscs. I will use them.
Well, that's been a wonderful conversation.
It's good.
Sorry, I went off like 20 different
Went
directions.
from Disney to Archie to...
We missed a very obvious topic.
What's that?
What?
Stanley.
Oh
Oh,
my
right.
god. That if you do a Stan Lee one, let me know.
But let's just do it fast. What side do you come out on?
Oh,
I feel like he's been
what, elder
used.
abuse?
Yeah.
Oh,
Elder
he's
abuse.
absolutely been abused. Oh, yeah, I don't think that's a question. Yeah, that old man is being used into the ground.
But I also feel like he screwed over a lot of other people to get
I
where
just think he was
is.
working in the day and age, and that's what was happening. I
Oh,
don't think
absolutely.
I don't think it's important. I think there's so much of this is wrapped up in anti-Semitism.
Oh,
There's
absolutely.
no way around it.
As another Jew in comics,
That, like,
and it's funny because Jews made your favorite superheroes.
right? Well, they don't, but they don't own them. Like, that's the thing.
Because DC wrote that bullshit contract that screwed over.
No. I mean, but Jews
Everybody.
do not own the idea of superheroes. So
Oh, yeah.
there are
Well,
all these
yeah.
Gentiles who are now looking like, oh, look
Gentiles.
at that Jew Stan Lee, like screwed over Kirby.
Oh, my
like,
God.
You know, I think
I
there's a
know.
lot of it.
Oh, I have a lot of feelings about that as well.
If you remember a few years ago, Jim Steranko, who is
Yeah.
one of the historians of comics.
Sure. I've met him a few times.
Yeah, he wrote an amazing Nick Fury run. So he tells a story about this time he met Bob Kane on Twitter, right?
I've seen that.
Right. So in the middle of it, he takes the time to note the fact that Bob Kane's real name is Khan.
Who gives a flying fuck?
Well, people who need you to know that he's a Jew. Like,
And that's like the thinly veiled anti-Semitism
Exactly.
that nobody wants to acknowledge.
well, so I actually wrote like a really long letter to Comics Alliance that saw nothing. I didn't know Bleeding Cool existed at the time. So
Well, somebody a local comic book artist to Baltimore, was like, "Do you know that Stanley's last name is Leibowitz?"
yeah.
And I want to be like,
It's
"Yeah,
Lieber.
why?"
Wait,
And
is
he
it
goes,
Leibowitz
"Well,
or is it Lieber?
I think it's Lieber.
It is. It's Lieber because his brother is Jerry.
What are you trying to hide?
Well, his
What are you
point,
trying to say?
His point for
Just- yeah.
saying that was like, "Do you know he's Jewish?"
Right.
And I wanted to be like,
Triple
"Yeah, Baruch
ellipses.
Atah Adonai, motherfucker!" Like, I too am a Jew.
Well, the reason that they're all Jews and they all changed their names is they couldn't get work in advertising.
Exactly.
Like They didn't want to be comic
Even
book.
in this day and age, I have to be like, no, I'm not Jewish. Sisselman is German. Or
It's just
something.
German, but not Jewish.
I'm not Jewish.
Yeah, I look. I don't begrudge any of these guys. They were just doing what they were doing as 18-year-old kids,
and I get
20-year-old
it.
kids.
I understand.
Like honestly, Jack Kirby was a pushover who grumbled about his friends later in life. Like, I'm sorry.
But they both sexually abused their wives, so they should be fine.
Well, I mean, there are these stories. Wait, what?
I'm kidding.
Oh, yes. To tie it all
Tying
together.
it all together.
I mean, like,
You're so good at that.
these are just outsized personalities that people want to make.
It's funny. On my Facebook 1 year ago, I posted a picture of me and Stan Lee because I know his bodyguards. And they were like, "Hey, Lauren, come on! Like, you're a cool person. You drink with us. Get a picture with Stan Lee." And I was like, "Hey, Mr. Lee, it's nice to meet you. Shalom."
Did he grab your ass or anything?
He was just like, "Oh, you have red hair,"
Like,
and that was the end of it.
that's probably all he could.
Well, when I met,
That's all he could put together at the time.
When I met Adam West, who it's been a year since his passing.
So now you can start talking shit? Or like,
No, and it's not
He
really
beat his
talking
wife.
shit, but like I met him in 2000. Stop laughing. In 2007, 8, and he goes, "So what do you do for a living?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm in college." And he's like, "I love college girls.
yeah.
What are
Oh,
you
yeah.
doing later?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Sir,
You're old.
holy shit! If you were like in your 30s, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna fuck Batman."
Right.
But right now, I'm not
Honestly,
really feeling it.
if he was in his 60s, he probably had a shot.
I would have been like, "You're like Jeff Goldblum."
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'd ride that into the sunset.
Exactly. Oh,
Have you seen Starring Adam West on Netflix?
I have.
That's a great one. I like it. All right. Final thoughts before we get to the anger section of the show.
I am tapped out.
We should be nicer to one another.
Yeah.
To ladies specifically. Because that's the conversation, we should be just nicer to ladies.
What do you do to ladies that aren't nice to you, though?
Me?
You don't be nice. I mean, you ignore them?
Yeah.
I have a lot of
That's
people who
correct.
aren't nice to me, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done with you. Goodbye.
I get yelled at. I don't know, man.
I mean sexually.
Oh, that aren't nice to me? Well, I ask for it, so,
Please,
you know, it
do you
is
have
nice.
a story?
No.
I need to know.
No. I'm kidding. I've been kidding this
you're
entire
a
time.
precious human being. Please
Thank
tell
you.
me.
Oh. What do you mean?
You're just precious.
Oh. It's the first time I've ever been complimented so highly on this
Precious.
podcast. All right, so I guess we're going to wrap it up. In summary, I'm feeling like the problems with fandom lie in its people, not the product. There's something there, the root cause being like us all sort of being harassed as children for things that we like, which causes us to be adults that,
Well, I feel like the people who were bullied turned out to be bullies to try to get their aggression out.
especially online, yeah, for sure. And I will admit that it used to be, the jocks or the bullies. They're gonna kick the shit out of you because you're a nerd because they don't like the stuff that you like, which is true.
Fucking fight me.
But now the nerds are the bullies. They're becoming the bullies.
I think the idea is teach your kids to be nice, and let them like whatever it is they like. Just full
Live
stop.
and let live.
Yeah.
And as
Well,
it pertains to the situation between the Dykstras and the Hardwicks of the world, I don't really know. I don't have a conclusion yet. I mean, obviously, the conclusion is don't sexually abuse your
Yeah.
girlfriends.
Right. Exactly.
Hey, don't. Yeah, exactly. Like,
But
Anybody?
no, or anybody. Yes, of course.
Strangers, yes.
don't be shitty to your partners.
I do have, I think, a lingering issue with the people that if this were a situation where you didn't intend to get law enforcement involved, that airing your personal
Yeah,
grievances
but here's the
in
thing:
this way.
law enforcement doesn't always believe you.
No,
They
that's
told
true.
me that I couldn't do a restraining order on my ex, and they were like, "We can do a peace order, and he may not see it, so fuck you."
And she probably thought, this is what I can do. You know?
Yeah, I know. It's still,
It just sucks. It is not fun.
and I have problems even talking about it without potentially stepping in mud, which I'm sure I've done at least 3 or 4 times on this podcast.
But I'm gonna beat you up after this.
Okay.
Actually.
All right. Well, I have hand weights right there. You
All right,
can
let's
just-
go. I used to be a personal trainer, so I'll fuck you up.
Do you know Krav Maga?
No, that's fake.
Oh, it is? Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
What, Capoeira?
If you had said CrossFit, I would have been like,
CrossFit.
You're fucking kidding me, bro.
All right, we'll go get a giant tire and you can hit me with it.
Actually, that is a legitimate thing.
My martial art of choice is Jane Fonda's ab workout. So
There you
Oh,
go.
fuck yeah.
come at me.
Typo.
All right, get into it.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. It's now time to get a little angry. Ooh, time to get a little venti.
Saucy.
Oh yes,
Ooh, saucy.
sure. 20.
Ragu.
Ugh, ragu's gross. Prego with mushrooms.
Oh, okay. We'll have to get into a power ranking situation next time.
Of spaghetti sauces.
Time to get a little pissed offy.
I think we're owed.
Time to get a little murderous.
Fatality.
Time to get a little fearful for your own life because of the murderousness. Yeah! Time to get a little playing a video game from the 90s.
Total carnage!
Time to go right ahead and tell everyone to shut up.
We're gonna let the band deal with this.
I am an excellent board op, and this is the end of the show in which we tell persons, places, and things that are bothering us and lowering our quality of life to go right ahead and shut up. My shut up this week is to the grocery store when all the self-service lanes are open, but I need to use a coupon, and there's only one cashiered lane available.
You can use your coupons in the self-service lane.
What?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
It didn't have a no. It had no QR code or anything on it.
You can scan them on the little scanning thingy. Did I just?
I
blow your
reversed
mind?
my shut up to myself for not knowing how to use coupons.
A lot of places you can scan it, and there's like a
It
drop
even
box.
prompts you.
Farts. This one. No, I don't. Whatever. Okay.
Do you
fine.
have any
Different
coupons?
shut up. I will think of one while everyone else gives shut ups.
Do you like clip coupons?
Only
I
this
do.
one.
Okay.
Because it's and a reverse shout out to Shoppers Food for giving $10 off coupons in your weekly Rosebud mailer or whatever Red Plum mailer. Red Plum.
Red rum.
$10 off any purchase over $50.
Okay.
So basically a free steak. No, at Shoppers Food
Shoppers.
Warehouse.
SFW.
Worth the trip for you, Caitlin, to go buy some groceries and save $10 and get a free steak.
No, it's not.
All right, you're off mic, so you don't count.
Giant does the same thing on the app.
All right.
Everybody's.
I'm
deaf.
sorry, I can't hear anybody now.
I am rendered deaf now. Brian, anybody else? Any shut ups. Let's do it while
From
I
the-
think of a
from
regular one.
The Fam Zone,
Yes,
Mike
please.
Bresnan says, "Shut up to service providers that short you. If I have to log my door opening to prove you only walked my dog for 8 minutes, you are terrible."
That is a common problem among the dog walkers of this world. They're like, yeah, I'm going to walk your dog until it takes a shit, and then I'm going to bring it back right back in.
That's like being a technical person. I can I will log my internet speed,
Oh.
so when I get shorted, and then I call and be like, "Yo, bro, you're shorting me," and they're like, "No."
You
no,
call
I
them
don't."
for getting throttled?
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to have problems with Comcast all the time, and they did not expect me to log my internet speed.
They are a very problematic company. Anybody else? Brian?
It's been really muggy and it sucks.
My hair is all frizzy.
Just sweaty all the time.
Yeah. Sweating. Shut up to sweating.
That's disgusting.
I mean,
You
like,
can all pit it out.
shout out to sweating. It regulates body heat and keeps me alive. But shut up to sweating.
No,
'cause
I don't need my amygdala or whatever the fuck it is that controls my body temperature.
maybe
you know?
something's wrong with your medulla oblongata.
Yeah,
You
it's
just
why
be
I'm
like a
so
dog.
ornery.
You should be like a dog and pant.
Yeah. This would be a very good podcast if this room were hot and we were all just like
If we were all,
Not
for
good.
some reason, had a dog circulatory system.
dog circuit.
I guess a respiratory system. I don't know how it works.
Lauren, any shut-ups?
Harris Teeter,
Okay.
Oh,
your self-service is always closed,
Ah.
and I don't like to wait in your weird lines.
Well, I don't like self-service.
I believe that if you're going to the self checkout, you should get a flat 10% off every time
Thank you.
because you're doing the work.
Because have you been to Harris Teeter?
No.
They don't have like specific lines. You just go up to a register and like a mass of humanity. And they're like, okay, you have to come on this side. You're on the wrong side. I don't know that because it's not like.
Oh, it's a bad.
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
bad.
this
Yeah.
idea that like you've got to separate yourself from your cart of groceries, and they have this weird system in place. And also, yes, I do agree, discounts for using the self-service because
Absolutely.
ultimately it takes longer, and people fuck it up constly.
You get
I
discounts
would-
for the.
I would rather do that.
You get discounts for reusable bags. Why
Yeah, at
not
IKEA.
for No,
At
it
Target
has-
too.
What?
Target, one of your affiliates.
Okay, this is now the entirely grocery shopping related shut up round.
It's also muggy.
And I would like to give a shut up to the weather system. My office was in Old
right.
Ellicott City.
Yeah.
It is no longer in Old Ellicott City. Thanks, weather.
Yeah, it's the end times.
Fuck me.
I'm done.
Yeah, guys. All right, there's been shut ups.
Okay, what's up? Okay.
Thank you very much, guys, for being here today.
Belated shut up to $4.95.
Oh.
A preemptive shut up, rather.
Oh, yeah. Casey has to
Screw
go down
you.
to Arlington, Virginia. I don't think you're going to get stuck.
Godspeed.
I think you'll be okay.
Not right now. Right now it should be good unless they hit like random construction.
You will.
Yes, because it's $4.95 and
Has anyone come to stay with Amber?
she's out of school. My mother-in-law lives 3 houses down.
Oh, yeah.
3 houses down.
It's Everybody Loves Raymond.
You know what? Oh, I'm so.
Never said that before.
I'm so. No, I think we knew that. I think we.
No,
knew
that
this.
was new information to me.
Oh, well then maybe I knew it because Casey and I spent time
That's
together.
why you moved out of this city for free babysitting.
I also
Give me a break.
babysit.
$1 a month.
Yeah, $1,800 a month does does childcare cost.
You can hire Brian for $1,600.
I need this baby to wait till July 7th. I need him to every single day because I really want to see the Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's July 6th.
Okay.
I'm so happy for you, though.
Casey-
Congratulations.
You don't need to see Ant-Man and the Wasp because you know what happens at the end.
It's a happy ending, and they go into the next Avengers movie.
It's a happy ending, and then in the mid-credit scene, one of them floats away.
I did not like the last Avengers movie.
I loved it. It's great.
I fell asleep.
Infinity War?
Yeah, fight me. I fell asleep.
It's okay. It's upsetting.
Caitlin, you don't have a
It's
microphone.
upsetting!
Our poor listeners are so deaf right now,
Yeah.
but I love you, so God bless you.
All right, this has been episode 224 of the CTB show. Yeah, it's been a long one. 2 hours and 3 minutes thus far.
You're welcome.
Password is
Ooh.
Chilean sea bass.
Chilean sea bass. Not the title of the episode. What was the title of the episode?
Oh God.
Bullshit something.
Bullshit age. Oh, the bullshit age of comics.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right.
Chilean sea bass.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for being a friend. Don't forget bit.ly/city that breathes to support the show. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.